Across to Nazeed now, because J&K is really important and the results will start trickling in anytime soon. Nazeed, one question that is there on everybody's mind is the kind of role that PDP and of course the independents and smaller parties will play in this election, because in the government formation, because clearly 44% of the candidates this time came from smaller parties, be it Apni Party or for that matter even Sajan Barkati or Engineer Rashid. So clearly these independents are very important, and of course the smaller parties, they're being called either the X Factor or BJP's proxy. So clearly they are somewhere in between. How are the people of Kashmir looking at them, and what are they thinking? Is there any sense of churn or calculation happening on that front?
Well, if these exit polls are any indication, there is going to be a hung house, and parties like PDP is going to play a key role. What PDP was saying during the campaigning, that they will be a kingmaker, they will be kingmaker. Who will be the king? That is anybody's guess. Both sides are claiming. BJP is saying they will be the single largest party, and with the help of independents and others like-minded parties, they will be able to form the government. NC Congress Alliance is saying they will be comfortably getting the majority and they will form the government. But clearly in less than 10 minutes from now, counting will start. First, the postal ballots will be counted. There will not be any major indication which way they will go. But once the EVMs are open and the counting starts, that would be the actually thing we have to watch out, and we'll know which way the wind is blowing. It's expected that the NC may be single largest party, given we have seen signs during the campaigning and during the polling as well. But will it actually get to close to the magic number? It looks like not, but it is likely that it may cross 30. That's what many believe. But its weak link looks like the Congress may not be performing as many were expecting, particularly in Jammu region, where Congress was fighting most of the seats. In fact, during the campaigning, Omar Abdullah pointed out and asked Rahul Gandhi that he should concentrate more on Jammu, where BJP was doing very well. Despite the fact that for last 5 years or 6 years, people in Jammu were really unhappy with the central rule and how things were shaping in Jammu. But when it comes to the voting, we actually saw BJP aggressively campaign from Prime Minister to Home Minister and everybody from Yogi Adityanath and top leaders of BJP. Strongly campaigned in Jammu region, and that actually made a difference on the ground. Right. And the bigger question during these elections has been restoration of the statehood. That has become the central to every political party's campaigning, and they have promised that once the assembly is formed, their whole focus would be restoration of statehood. But today, it's the day when we will know who will form the government. But even after the vote count is completed, 5 key, constituency, 5 members will hold the key. Right. They will be the nominated members.
So Nazeed, a lot of focus this time on J&K is on who will be the single largest party, and will there be one, and if there's going to be a review of political calculations.
Absolutely, with record number of independents as we've been mentioning. We'll have to step into a very short break now, but this remains our top focus on NDTV.
कलर भी मेरा ही फेवरेट मिला।
Dulux Velvet Touch with True Color Technology feels like home. Dulux, Dulux, Dulux.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis, and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
Congress is going to form the government in Haryana with a big majority.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always bustling. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV World Summit 2024, October 21st and 22nd, only on NDTV Network.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which
Good morning, everybody. You're watching NDTV. It's the big verdict day today. Of course, we'll get to know if the Congress finally forms the government in Haryana and who exactly is going to have the majority in J&K.
A quick look at the headlines. It's D-Day in battleground states, Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana. The election results come in today. The counting of votes begins anytime now. The first BJP versus Congress face-off since the Lok Sabha elections.
Will Congress foil BJP's Haryana hat-trick? Haryana Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini has said that he is confident of winning majority third time, with exit polls predicting a Congress sweep in Haryana. Can it stop the BJP's hat-trick bid?
In Jammu and Kashmir, the first assembly election results in a decade. A referendum on the BJP's Article 370 move is what it's being seen as. It is possibly a cliffhanger. Will it be a Congress NC show? Do they have the numbers? We'll have to wait and see. Will the PDP and smaller parties end up playing kingmaker?
Right ahead of the big verdict, political row now over J&K LG's power to nominate 5 MLAs to the J&K Assembly, taking the halfway mark to 48. Opposition leaders have said that this is a move to undermine the powers of the Assembly.
Well, good morning and welcome to what will be, one way or another, a riveting day for our democracy. Assembly election results in 2 states, Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir, the first there in a decade. These polls are not just about choosing state leaders, but are interwoven with the fabric of our democratic pulse, influencing policy, politics, and power dynamics nationally.
But broadly speaking, there are these big questions that these elections raise. Of course, let's talk about Haryana first. The contest here is primarily between BJP, which is aiming for a third consecutive term, and the Congress party, which according to exit polls is poised for a significant comeback. The polls, of course, have suggested that Congress could be securing around 50 to 60 seats in the 90-member assembly, potentially ousting the BJP, which has faced challenges like the recent collapse of its alliance with the JJP. But let me also remind you that exit polls are often wrong, and we have to take that with that health warning. Yes.
In Jammu and Kashmir, this election marks the first since the abrogation of Article 370 and the region's reorganization into a union territory. The elections are seen as a test for the BJP's policies in the region, with a focus on security because of past unrest. The contest is largely between the BJP and an alliance with the National Conference and the Congress, with exit polls predicting a hung assembly where regional parties and independents could play crucial roles. So that's what the broad picture is. And over the next several hours, with our wonderful panelists in our studio and our reporters out on the field, we hope to get all the very latest details. Vasudha?
Okay, we have our reporters joining us now from different parts of Haryana and J&K. But first, Vishnu, let's look at some political reactions because people in the BJP and Congress party have reacted.
And EVM voting machines
the doors
have been opened.
Yes,
right?
the doors are open now. The postal ballots and, of course, the actual counting will begin. So exit polls, we can just do away with them today.
आज काउंटिंग है और हमें पूर्ण विश्वास है हरियाणा प्रदेश की जो हमने सेवा ईमानदारी से पिछले 10 वर्षों के अंदर की है, मैं उस आधार के ऊपर कह सकता हूं कि हम तीसरी बार हरियाणा के अंदर एक तरफा सरकार बना रहे हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी तीसरी बार सेवा के लिए तैयार है क्योंकि केंद्र में आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बने हैं। कांग्रेस है, कांग्रेस सत्ता के लिए काम करती है, हम सेवा के लिए काम करते हैं।
चूंकि आज जम्मू कश्मीर विधानसभा के चुनावों की मतगणना है, गिनती शुरू हो रही है, मुझे विश्वास है कि शानदार जीत के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थित इंडिपेंडेंट कैंडिडेट्स और जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सहयोगी मित्र दल हैं, उनको शानदार जीत के साथ जम्मू कश्मीर में बहुमत प्राप्त होगा और मुझे विश्वास है कि जम्मू कश्मीर में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सहयोगी दलों की, हम सब की मिलकर सरकार बनेगी।
देखिए, चुनाव के नतीजे स्पष्ट कर देंगे कि जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर प्रो डेवलपमेंट सरकार बनने जा रही है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी लेड कोलिशन जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर ऐतिहासिक रूप से जीतेगा। हरियाणा में हम काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंट हैं। हमें उम्मीद है कि जैसे छत्तीसगढ़ के अंदर एग्जिट पोल्स गलत हुए थे, इसी तरीके से हरियाणा के अंदर भी जो एग्जिट पोल्स दिखा रहे हैं वो गलत साबित होंगे और जो हमारे पार्टी का इंटरनल फीडबैक हमें बता रहा है कि हम तीसरी बार वापस से सरकार बनाएंगे।
So we have some wonderful guests in the studio with us. We have Neerja Chaudhary, who's an author and senior journalist. We have Akshat Goyal, who runs Dhruva Research, and of course, he's also a psephologist. We also have Sajjan Kumar, who is an author and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we come to you, let's also go across to our reporters who have been tracking these election stories. We have Nazir joining us from Srinagar. We have Aishwarya, who's joining us from the BJP headquarters, and we also have Gurpreet, who is at Bhupinder Hooda's residence in Rohtak, and we have also Ishika, who joins us from Julana, which is the key constituency from where Vinesh Phogat, the wrestler, is contesting from. To you, Aishwarya, first, you are reporting from the BJP headquarters. Of course, this is not a very easy day for the BJP. Of course, the party is expecting some gains, a lot of gains in Jammu, but Haryana is going to be very tricky. We saw a CM change in the last few months, and we also saw very important policy decisions with respect to 24 crops MSP and also increasing the ceiling limit for OBCs. But clearly, the party seems to be thinking that a lot more could have been done. So, Aishwarya, tell us, what is the mood like in the BJP headquarters?
Well, as of now, at the BJP headquarters, it's a deserted look. And if I can tell my camera person to just pan and show a few media personals over here. And unlike of the Congress headquarters, where we're witnessing early celebrations in the national capital at the Congress headquarters, it is just few media personnel. No supporters have come out yet. No senior BJP leader has also come out yet. But certainly, we are hoping that as the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders have anticipated that they will again form government.
Okay, Aishwarya, interrupting
Haryana
you for half a second. That's because we've got the first leads which have started to come out now, both in the state of Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. Now, as we keep telling our viewers, election after election, this is very early in the day. These are electoral ballots. They are very significant, but they don't offer necessarily a trend, at least not in the first 30 seconds.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's if you look at Haryana, that's on the right of your screen, 8 of 90 leads have started coming in. It's even Stevens for the BJP and the Congress. It's a little ahead to the Congress, to the BJP at this stage. Jammu and Kashmir, a single lead for the last few minutes, 1 to the BJP. Neerja, just to you very briefly before we go back to Aishwarya. People get very excited when they see numbers on the stage. These are not results, these are leads. It goes through various rounds of counting. What is the process before, and what time do you think we'll be at before we can say, okay, this is what the trend broadly is?
Sometimes it could be by, by 9 o'clock the situation's clear, 10 o'clock. I don't think it will go beyond that if the counting does take place at the reasonable pace that it's expected to. So I think we should have a clearer idea. 9:30, 10.
These are smaller states, but also Haryana is known for, those fierce contests, right? So multiple rounds of counting important.
And you're absolutely right, Vishnu. To jump to any conclusion, it's going to be very hazardous.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about, the early ballots which come in, the postal ballots as they were. How do they work?
Primarily government employees, and you take the example of Haryana, so armed forces are there, government employees. Armed forces are significant, though the total population is relatively less compared to other big states, but the percentage of armed forces would be more. Then those armed forces also have a communitarian background also, remember. Kind of the farmer's family having the kind of army personnel. Primarily belonging to the peasant caste background, which has a significant electoral chemistry and dynamics. So that way, they indicate some sort of a whether how the government employees, be it the armed forces and others, are viewing the state government and they are assessing it. But state to state it varies. Himachal, they have more impact, the government employees. Haryana, a bit less.
Right.
I just had, sorry to interrupt you, I just had a key point. If we are talking about Haryana, and we are talking about these early ballots, and we are talking about the forces voting, the entire issue of the Agnipath, the Agniveer scheme would potentially have been a key factor in their minds. And I say this in the case of Haryana, which generates so many soldiers for the Indian Army.
You work out of Gurgaon, right? So tell us, Gurgaon...
Is that a factor? I mean,
personally, don't think it is a factor in the urban parts of the city. However, it could be a factor if you go through the interiors of Haryana, but not so much in the city like Gurgaon or Faridabad.
Let's go back to Aishwarya. Sorry, Aishwarya, we interrupted you, got very excited with the initial leads, did we? But as Nija has sternly warned us, do not get so excited earlier on. It doesn't mean very much right now. But you were telling us what's happening around you. Give us a sense. No laddus out already, right? Because we've seen that as a possibility as occasionally in party headquarters as well.
Well, for the first time, even I'm witnessing there is no halwa or no laddu preparing at the BJP headquarters early this morning, because the early exit polls had predicted something else for the BJP this time. But BJP leaders are waiting to see the results, and then only they'll step out and come out at the BJP headquarters. Nothing much happening at the BJP headquarters as of now, as we are witnessing what's happening at the Congress headquarters early this morning. Celebrations already started. Dhols have come out at the Congress headquarters. But deserted look here at the BJP national headquarters as of now. Few spokespersons have just come at the point which is being created for the media personals, and senior leaders are expected. Because, of course, the BJP leaders are very confident that they are aiming for hat-trick this time, and the work that they have done in the last 10 years that will clearly reflect in the results as well. And as Nayab Singh Saini today in the morning sarcastically said that if Ashok Tanwar can travel from one Jan Sabha to another in just 20 minutes, that shows that how infrastructural work has been done in Haryana by the BJP government in the past. And therefore, the reason perhaps it is, the people who knows that what kind of work they have done. Of course, BJP has offered in many of the ways that they had addressed Kisans, they have addressed the Naujawans, the youth, the senior citizens as well. Also 100% government jobs to Agniveer. Well, that will reflect in the votes or not is something that remains to be seen. But in the next 2-3 hours, we can expect something might change at the BJP headquarters, the pictures, the visuals. But as of now, it's a complete deserted look as what we can witness over here.
Ishika, who joins us from Tulana, that's where Vinesh Phogat, the wrestler, is at the moment, and she's been contesting from there. Give us a sense of what's happening around you. There's been so much interest in Vinesh after what happened in the Olympics, and of course her political presence here seemed to be a significant factor.
And Vishnu, in this constituency there are two wrestlers fighting. Kavita Dalal from Aam Aadmi Party is also a wrestling champion. Of course, she is pitted against Yogesh, who is from the Yuva Morcha of the BJP.
Ishika, go ahead.
Well, yes, certainly, as you rightly mentioned, we are seeing it's just not one wrestler, in fact, who is contesting from Julana. We are seeing from the Aam Aadmi Party also, it is Kavita Dalal, in fact, who is contesting against Vinesh Phogat. Both of them are wrestlers. And then we see, in fact, Captain Yogesh, who is, in fact, the youth, Youth Morcha cell president of the BJP, also, in fact, contesting from here. So, certainly, the battle for Julana is one of a high-profile one, since the entry of Vinesh Phogat in the Congress party and also in the Julana politics. So certainly, what Congress here is in fact aiming or expecting right now is that certainly it will create some kind of magic, and Vinesh Phogat will win this Julana constituency, because if we look at the history of Congress in Julana, it is certainly very disappointing for Congress because it had a kind of losing streak here.
Across to Jammu right now, Engineer Rashid, seen to be a real dark horse in these elections, is speaking. Let's listen in to what he's saying.
यहाँ ही मैं सोता हूँ, यहाँ आपसे भी बात करता हूँ, लोगों से भी बात करता हूँ. I try to be one among the masses. अब अगर वो डरते हैं तो मुझे उसमें क्या परेशानी है? अब अगर वो मुझे अब वो सारे टारगेट करते हैं, I have no issues. मेरी उनसे यही गुजारिश है कि डरो मत. मैं आपका कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ने वाला हूँ. अगर वो मेरी तरह की राजनीति करेंगे, कोई नहीं, 1-2 साल उनको मोदी से जेल में रखेगा, लेकिन 370 भी वापस आएगा, 35 से भी वापस आएगा. वो शब्दों के खिलाड़ी हैं, मैं काम करने वाला हूँ. फ़र्क इतना है. आगे अभी इब्तिदाई इश्क है, रोते हैं क्यों, आगे आगे देखिए होता है क्या. थैंक यू.
बहुत शुक्रिया इंजीनियर साहब एएनआई को अपना समय देने के लिए.
थैंक यू.
Also going across to Nazir. Nazir, if there's one thing that people are talking about Engineer Rashid, some people call him a BJP proxy, some people say that he is the X factor. So tell us clearly, how are people of Jammu and Kashmir looking at him, and how are political parties looking at him, because he has also been blamed for diluting, the agenda of the mainstream parties, both NC and PDP.
Well, he's someone who actually contested parliament elections from Tihar jail and won, defeated Omar Abdullah. And then when he was released in the middle of assembly election, people raised, eyebrows, why, and they say it's a BJP ploy to fragment votes in Kashmir, and so that the regional parties like National Conference and the PDP are defeated. Engineer Rashid is saying he's someone who has been fighting one assembly election before as well. So how can they tell him, oh, he has somebody's proxy when he's fighting? That people will decide who they will vote. But clearly he had a very impressive campaign in many ways, but it was not as big as it was during the parliament elections. There was clearly, some sort of suspicion, or people were so cynical about his campaigning and about his release in the middle of elections. So that will impact his performance as well. We do see he may be winning many seats, and that will have a major impact, but it will affect the winning and losing of some parties, regional parties as well. Having said that, this election is all about whether NC Congress will be able to form the government, or BJP is going to upset them and they will win more seats in Jammu, and with the help of some independents and also 5 nominated members, they will form the government. That's anybody's guess as the counting of the postal ballots.
All right, Nazir, I'm just going to interrupt you for a quick second. Go across to Sunil Prabhu, who's at the Congress headquarters in Delhi, where I'm told that there are already some sorts of celebrations starting, but perhaps they also need to be reminded that things are a bit early at this stage. But that said, what you are seeing on your screens right now are very early leads, and these are electoral ballots. They will at some stage start translating into something more decisive. But in Haryana, it's the Congress at 17, the BJP at 9. And it's even Stevens in Jammu and Kashmir. Again, these are postal ballots at this stage that we are looking. Sunil, who's celebrating at the Congress headquarters, and why so early?
Well, I think, the winds of change, as I've been speaking from this morning, for, a decade there has been muted response. What you saw in the BJP headquarters is now, of course, changing here. The doles are out, the people are celebrating here. There have been crowds, the same Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi brigade, which used to be there even when the days were numbered for the Congress party and they had gone down to 44. That same solid Congress workers continue to throng the Congress party headquarters with that hope that the exit polls, as well as what they have done, is for them, for the Congress party, it's been a very difficult and hard-fought campaign. There's been caste polarization, for example, in Haryana, which was played by the BJP, as they allege. There has been a host of issues that they have taken up: unemployment, the Agniveer scheme, development, and that list carries on. There was 7 guarantees that were done. They allege that it was done at a time when the One Nation, One poll was announced to completely overshadow what they were doing. If you look at the management headlines, so all those aspects have been very closely watched by the Congress party, and even as we speak, the message has been given to the observers not to take anything for chance. They have been bitten. Congress has emerged in single act, and it's in that context. And here you can see the sounds of the dole and the people dancing and singing here and carrying on. So they're really in anticipation. Vishnu, I suppose nobody can predict an Indian election, but I think the people know very well the answer. The answer is on the streets of Haryana, and of course the doles and the singing have started here. We'll wait and see whether this is premature or this is as expected on anticipated lines, where the Congress is expected to do pretty well in the state of Haryana.
Okay, Gurpreet is at Bhupinder Singh Hooda's residence. We also have Neeja Chaudhary with us. She's written this amazing piece in which she talks about how Hoodas are going to be different this time, you know, this whole Jat Shahi thing. So tell us, Gurpreet, what exactly is happening at Hooda's residence, because this is also a show of strength. This time he did say that all Chhattis Biradaris is what he's reaching out to. So clearly a difference from the Jat consolidation that, we associate the Hoodas with. So clearly a signal that everybody needs to be taken along. But what really is happening at Bhupinder Singh Hooda's residence?
Well, we have seen a huge number of our supporters. They have started gathering, and there is a huge excitement among these supporters. We have seen all of them. They are sticking to the mobiles because they are seeing each and every aspect of this counting, which has just begun. So we will talk to them to understand what type of excitement do they have. तो अब तो वोटिंग स्टार्ट हो गई है, तो क्या आप देख रहे हैं लगातार मोबाइल काउंटिंग स्टार्ट हो गई है, तो क्या
30 पे कांग्रेस आगे चल रही है, 4 पे बीजेपी है। और जैसे कि पहले भी बताया हमारे चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा जी ने कि भाजपा जा रही है, कांग्रेस आ रही है। आज भाजपा 11 बजे तक जो सैनी जी कह रहे थे कि भाई कोमा में आईसीयू में चले जाएगा, आज 11 बजे बीजेपी को कोमा में भेज दिया जाएगा और कांग्रेस सत्ता पे चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा जी मुख्यमंत्री होंगे।
भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा जी मुख्यमंत्री हैं। हम देख रहे हैं लगातार आप जबकि काउंटिंग स्टार्ट हुई है देख रहे हैं, तो क्या लग रहा है? एक्साइटमेंट है, बाहर देख रहे हैं कांग्रेस में भी वहाँ पे हेडक्वार्टर पे डोल आ गया है, वहाँ पे सेलिब्रेशन स्टार्ट होगी, क्या देख रहे हैं?
ऐसा है, हरियाणा में कांग्रेस की सरकार आ रही है, बीजेपी की सरकार जा रही है। इन्होंने पहले दिया था 75 पार का नारा पिछली बार, अब की बार कांग्रेस का 75 पार का नारा जाएगा और ये जमुना पार जाएगी, बीजेपी जमुना पार जाएगी।
बीजेपी जमुना पार जाएगी, क्या देख रहे हैं जो ट्रेंड आ रहे हैं? क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं एग्जिट पोल ने एक माइंड मेकअप किया है कि कांग्रेस की आ रही है सरकार, तो अब क्या लग रहा है?
सरकार आ रही है, पूरे बहुमत से आ रही है, 75 आ रही है सीट। और जो बीजेपी ये कहते हैं ना जमुना पार, ये कहना बीजेपी को काला पानी भेज दें कि आकर कभी उठेगी नहीं।
पर मुख्यमंत्री काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंट है। मुख्यमंत्री कह रहे हैं नैब सिंह सैनी के हमारी सरकार आएगी, बाद में कांग्रेस ईवीएम पे भी सवालिया चिन्ह लगाएंगे।
देखिए, बीजेपी ने तो हमेशा जो है ना बात बना करके जो है ना वो किया है, सच्चाई से ये तो हमेशा दूर रहे हैं। जो इन्होंने प्रॉमिस किए थे, एम्प्लॉयमेंट के थे और जो दूसरे पैसे लाने थे ब्लैक मनी वाले, किसी तरह का हरियाणा में कोई काम नहीं हुआ ना,
कोई काम नहीं हुआ।
कांग्रेस ने कभी भी ईवीएम के ऊपर ये वो नहीं कहा, ईवीएम मतलब मशीनों के ऊपर कोई खराबा ना, ये सभी अफवाहें हैं और कुछ है। कांग्रेस अपने वोटरों के ऊपर विश्वास रखती है, ये नहीं अगले मतलब मशीन के ऊपर उनकी जो है जमानत जब्त होने जा रही है ना, ये कांग्रेस के ऊपर अपना बाढ़ना फोड़े जा रही है।
मुख्यमंत्री भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा ही बनेंगे, क्योंकि उसके लिए भी अभी तक कोई भी पार्टी हाईकमांड ने चेहरा नहीं बताया कि कौन मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा।
ऐसे भाई साहब मीडिया के माध्यम से बता रहे हैं, ये हाई कमांड और जो ऑब्जर्वर आएंगे, एमएलए जो बनाएंगे, विधायक जो बनाएंगे ना, वो सीएम बनेगा। आज के दिन जो भूपेंद्र हुड्डा ही लाइन में है, वो भूपेंद्र हुड्डा ही सीएम की शपथ लेंगे और चौधरी दीपेंद्र हुड्डा वो विधानसभा लोकसभा संभालेंगे। और ये आपका एक ही परिवार है।
सभी एमएलए क्या कहेंगे कि मुख्यमंत्री भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा ही चाहिए हमें?
देखो हमारे यहाँ पर हुड्डा साहब की बहुत वो मानते हैं, मतलब एमएलए हमारे जो हैं, मतलब हुड्डा साहब के ने इतने प्रोग्राम किए हैं, इतना उन्होंने बुलाया हुड्डा साहब को प्रचार के लिए, तो वो हुड्डा साहब के सपोर्टर तो एमएलए खुद हैं। एमएलए यहाँ तय करेंगे विधायक।
कहते हैं कि शायद इस बार लोगों ने चेहरे पे भी वोट डाली है, भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा को मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में देखने करके भी वोट डाली है। तो क्या लगता है कि ऐसा समीकरण था और पार्टी हाईकमांड को भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा को मुख्यमंत्री बनाना है?
देखिए, चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा के विकास पुरुष के नाम से जाना जाता है। पीछे जब 2005 से 2009 तक जो हुड्डा साहब ने जो विकास किया, जिस एजुकेशन हरियाणा को हब बना दिया, किसानों की आय दोगुनी कर दी और रोड है, लाइन ऑर्डर है, तो ये विकास के नाम से वोट पड़ी है और अभी भी विकास के नाम से ही लोगों ने वोट डाली है और विकास होगा। और चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा के नेतृत्व में बहुत भारी विकास होने जा रहा है हरियाणा में।
तो क्या लगता है बीजेपी काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंट लग रही है? बीजेपी कह रही है कि हम भी सरकार बनाएंगे, तीसरी बार सरकार बन रही है, तो क्या लग रहा है?
कॉन्फिडेंट की बात तो ये है, खुद नायब सैनी जी हार रहे हैं, उनकी वाइफ ने जिला परिषद का चुनाव लड़ा, वो हार गई, उसके बाद भी ये कॉन्फिडेंट, इसको ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट बोलते हैं। वो खुद की अपनी सीट बचाए तो मैं मानूँ हाँ नायब सैनी जी का कोई वर्ड।
क्या लगता है?
देखिए, भरम का कोई इलाज नहीं है, क्या फ़ायदा, सपने लेते रहो, सपने लेने से क्या फ़ायदा है। पूर्ण बहुमत से इसकी कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है और बीजेपी 75 जो पार का नारा था ना इनका, वो झूठला चुकी है पब्लिक।
Well, if we can talk about the supporters, they are quite confident the Congress is coming back and Bhupinder Singh Hooda will be the Chief Minister of Haryana. This is these are the sentiments of the supporters of Bhupinder Singh Hooda who have already gathered at Hooda residence. So let's see that what the party high command is going to take a call or who will be the Chief Minister of Haryana. But as of now, we have seen the supporters. They say Bhupinder Singh Hooda will be the Chief Minister of Haryana. Back to studio.
Minister has been saying in the last little while. Exit polls well and truly over, but as you will see, Mr. Saini's concerns still appear to be what those exit polls may or may not have shown. Let's listen in.
अच्छा है जो वो बात सोच रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनको कोई रोक थोड़ी सकता है। एग्जिट पोल ये तो छत्तीसगढ़ में कह रहे थे कि हमारी सरकार बन रही है, मध्य प्रदेश में बोल रहे थे कि हमारी टक्कर है, यही बोल रहे थे कांग्रेस के लोग, कोई और नहीं बोल रहा था। एग्जिट पोल के ऊपर बोल रहे थे, ये एग्जिट पोल के ऊपर बोल रहे थे। हाँ, बोलने अच्छा है, खुश हो जाएंगे, परंतु हमने ईमानदारी से काम किया है। हमने ईमानदारी से हरियाणा प्रदेश को, देश को आगे बढ़ाया। नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में इन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार के अंदर देश को ऊंचाइयों के ऊपर लेकर के गए, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी तीसरी बार सरकार बना रही है।
Okay, we also have Mayank Mishra, my colleague and NDTV's consulting editor, joining us. To you, Akshat, first, you work out of Gurgaon. Tell us, what are the things that the BJP did right or did wrong with respect to, this new CM? Because I understand that, he was their face in the last 4-5 months. He was part of their yatra. He made some very important announcements, but clearly, it wasn't enough. So tell us, what do you think the BJP got right and sort of could have done more?
So I will start with the Adampur bypolls, which happened in 2022, in which Bhavya Bishnoi won that seat, and BJP got closer to the majority mark. So BJP's mark was 40 in the state, and it got closer to 41 seats, and there was 7 to 8 independents. So that was the time I personally feel that BJP should have broken ties with JJP and let Dushyant grow further. So because BJP allied with JJP till closer to the Lok Sabha election, and this time JJP also knew that now it's not their time, that they will be able to get a lot of Jat support, and hence they also thought that we should leave like BJP now and we should fight against BJP. So this is one thing which BJP did wrong, and they should have stopped it 2 years earlier. what BJP did right, but are like little late that they changed their CM, but very close to elections, and this particular CM didn't get much chance, maybe 4 to 5 months.
That could have been something that was confusing for
they could have done it earlier, maybe a year or so.
And he was seen too much of a shadow of Manohar Lal, wasn't seen too much, as a personality in his own right.
Maybe 5 months is not a big time in which you can establish yourself. Maybe you are some sort of Superman in which you can do everything.
Right.
But I personally don't feel 5 months is a long time in which you can establish yourself, because earlier he was an MP, he was not a minister in the central government, he was not a face
from Kurukshetra as an MP,
So
I just wanted to come across to you, Mayank. When we talk about Haryana, we keep talking about caste consolidation, obviously the Jat vote consolidation, the non-Jat vote consolidation, but there is also consolidation of the Jabki factor. There's the Jawan, the Pehelwan and the Kisan, all of whom are absolutely critical. Is there a sense that the Congress may have really pushed ahead in reaching out to these three groups? If you look at the Jawan, it's the issue of Agniveer. If you look at farmers, it's the issue of MSP. Do you believe that they have had an edge in consolidating these three groups?
Before I answer your question, I will look at the trend which is available at the moment. In Jammu and Kashmir, and we are talking about postal ballots.
Yeah.
In Jammu, Kashmir, most of them are going the BJP way. And in recent election, in Lok Sabha election, we noticed shift of postal ballots, basically government employees, towards India bloc. See the contrast. In Jammu, they are going the BJP way. In Haryana, they are going the Congress way. So this is something, probably because there is a sense of security among government
employees and soldiers, who are a big factor in both of these states, because there are many regiments of the army in Haryana and in Jammu and Kashmir. I think there are 2 regiments in Jammu and Kashmir. But go ahead with what I was saying.
About Haryana, multiple factors are at play. See, Haryana has always been known for changing governments every 5 years. This government and a government before that, Congress government, lasted 10 years each. So, strong anti-incumbency sentiment, plus so many other factors, and plus, and if I go by Access My India's exit poll, there has been complete meltdown of JJP, and the votes that JJP got have shifted en masse towards the Congress.
Okay.
That is the only. BJP remains constant at whatever they had in terms of vote share. Congress has gained at the expense of JJP. That is the plus that Congress.
And the JJP and AAP non-factors.
What about INLD?
INLD, according to Access My India, has got some traction. But complete meltdown of JJP is the factor that we should watch out for.
Nija ma'am, the other important factor in Haryana is the Dalit vote, 17 reserved seats and almost 20% Dalit vote. And we saw what happened with the Kumari Shelja, we saw Ashok Tanwar. There was a lot of talk about Uday Bhan also being a Dalit face, a compromise candidate, somebody who comes from the Hooda camp, being a compromise candidate. Tell us how important is Dalit vote when it comes to social engineering in Haryana?
Look, Dalit vote this time is far more assertive. It's 21% as opposed to 25% of the Jats. And I moved around some Dalit bastis, and they felt Shelja should be the chief minister. If not Shelja, can it be Uday Bhan? If not Uday Bhan, even Ashok Tanwar, who joined that day, the day we were talking. And they saw Ashok Tanwar's last minute entry when the campaign is ending, only 2 hours are left, as a Congress's attempt to signal to the Dalit community, we care about you.
Okay. Just give me half a second, Nija. I wanted to go across to Gautam Seth, Congress spokesperson with us. Gautam, we've got images of the Congress headquarters, and we saw a laddu distribution ceremony, as it were, taking place. Aren't you celebrating a little bit early? These are postal ballots right now, or do you believe that you've got an indicator of these leads likely to be firm?
I think there is a sense of belief because of the feedback that we have received from our workers across both these states. And the Congress, in full-fledged way, believes that a trend that began in 2024, that was the decimation of the idea of Narendra Modi's politics and the resurgence of an idea of people's issues, a movement from distraction and polarization to the issues that matter in people's daily lives. And this election, the results are going to reassert that, are going to reaffirm that the people are no more interested in mere rhetoric. People want to talk about the issues that matter in their day-to-day life. And Rahul Gandhi's style of politics and Congress's style of politics is what the people are now looking up.
You know, Gautam, what's fascinating, and my colleague Mayank Mishra was just making the point that even if these are electoral, if these are early days and postal ballots, if you look at Jammu and Kashmir, the BJP at this stage appears to be significantly ahead. So if this is a reflection of the mood of, let's say, the armed forces or of government workers, right, then it does indicate some sort of a sense that they may be impressed by what the BJP has to offer.
Actually, as far as I can see, these trends are only from 33 of the 90 seats in Jammu and Kashmir. They are not from all the 90 seats. And they are from which region is also a question, because, you know, there is that division where the Congress was strong, and there are some seats, of course, where the Bharatiya Janata Party was strong. And as far as the Congress goes, we never say that there should be a BJP Mukt Bharat. Right. We say that the democracy should be strengthened and both the ideologies should strive and fight. It is the other end who wants a Congress Mukt Bharat. The Congress always wants the democracy to be strengthened, and that is why, be it the polling day, be it the result day, the Congress celebrates the people's verdict in every way.
All right.
Right. Going across to Sajan, you know, when you look at the J&K strategy of BJP, what is the biggest takeaway? Because, you know, if you look at 2024 Lok Sabha elections, both Omar Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti lost. And Mehbooba Mufti lost by a huge margin. So clearly, this election was also about other people in the fray, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the contrast between the Haryana and Jammu is clear. I mean, independence as a factor is very central kind of variable in Jammu and Kashmir, while in Haryana you see it's almost a bipolar, even if the many parties are there. So in Jammu, BJP's strategy would be clear, that consolidated their base into the Jammu region and divide, you know, the valley region. That would be their clear strategy, and for that they would expect that PDP should do bit better, should cut certain votes, and independents like Engineer Rashid to others should do it, because in the final analysis.
But for Kashmir, do you think they'll have a strategy like, you know, banking on someone like the Muzaffar Beg or somebody like that, you know, somebody who comes from the Pahadi community, a community that you know, owes gratitude for the BJP for getting their ST status? Do you think that could be a strategy, you know, from the BJP side?
That is, but I think the numerical strength is too less, and the number of seats will be so maximum. It would be that NC and Congress alliance doesn't get a clear majority on their own, and in that case, mind it, mathematically the most easier equation is NC and BJP coming together, which chemistry wise won't happen, but that's the easiest numbers if two of them decides to come together.
Wanted to you've been traveling over there, you didn't travel to Jammu, but you were in the valley. In terms of the dynamics that you've seen and this very remote possibility of the NC and the BJP, do you think that based on what we've
heard, you know, people, many people were talking about this possibility because that's a possibility that will give it stability. BJP representing the Jammu region convincingly, NC representing the Kashmir Valley convincingly. If they come together, it will be a stable government. Both regions will be. I asked Dr. Farooq Abdullah, this is now many days ago, he ruled it out categorically.
Right.
And he said that again yesterday and in many interviews that that's not on the cards at all. So NC, where the party that's not done as well as was expected is the Congress party. And it compelled Omar Abdullah to go public about its ally, pull up your socks in Jammu. And it had, and if you talk to people, you know, friends and all, they said, yes, we wanted to give the Congress a chance, but where is the organization? And actually one realized Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad moving out of the Congress, how much of a blow it has been to the Congress party, not because his candidates are going to cut into the Congress vote, but the organization, anyway a weak organization, has been decimated. So Mr. Azad has lost out, Congress has lost out, and the BJP is gained in the process.
And it's only towards the end of the campaign that the Congress managed to have working presidents from the Mahajan community, Brahmin community, which were the basics, right? So clearly those corrective actions coming only towards the end, and Priyanka Gandhi rushing to campaign in Jammu after being
almost the last day. That's right.
But if you just focus a little bit more on Jammu and Kashmir, the fact that, you know, in what is likely to be a very close election, possibly a hung assembly, the 5 independents nominated candidates with the LG, potentially, if they don't hold the cards, they can certainly help one side get to within striking range. How significant is that?
It's a very significant part. I mean, 5 MLAs, so in short, it is a 5 MLA, and more likely they are likely to be a part of the BJP side. However, personally, I feel that NC and Congress alliance is more closer to forming a government even if they, let's say, fall short of 5 or 6 seats, so they're likely to get the support of PDP or certain independents. So it is easier for them to get support of 5 or 6 than like BJP arranging the support of 10.
Right.
So in effect, the majority figure for the Congress and NC is going to be 48. Not 46.
Yes, because of the increase.
Gets added to the 90, the nominated ones, with a vote.
Yeah.
This, of course,
So then they need to get to 48 in order to win the election.
48 will be the majority.
Whereas the BJP will not need that kind of a figure.
No.
They will need a much lower figure to cobble together.
And there are more seats in Jammu this
They're
time.
up
after
5 is what
delimitation.
you're basically saying.
43 versus 45.
They're up 5 already is what you're basically
They're up
saying.
5. They're starting off with 5. Yes. And
we have
of course,
Vinesh-
Dr. Abdullah has said, Farooq Abdullah has said, we will go to the Supreme Court. We will challenge this in the court. So government formation, if it's not a very clear verdict, may become a messy business, you know.
Many
Legal-
possibilities open there. We also have Virendra Sindhu, who is spokesperson of the JJP, joining us now. Thank you, Mr. Sindhu, for speaking to us. I mean, the trends have just started coming in, but what is your expectation? Because while JJP did come out of the government, we also saw many people leave the JJP, join the BJP, and of course, they are also facing revolt and rebellion from voters. So clearly, this has not been a great time for the party. How confident are you of making a mark along with your alliance partner, which is the Azad Samaj Party?
ये इसमें बिल्कुल सच्चाई है कि हमारे लिए जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो इतने अच्छे नहीं होंगे जो आप कह रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं एक बात ये भी कह रहा हूँ, जो 19 का फिगर आप दिखा रहे हैं बीजेपी का, इतना यहाँ तक बीजेपी नहीं पहुंच पाएगी। टोटल 90 सीट्स में से 20 सीट्स बीजेपी नहीं ले पाएगी। इतनी बुरी लहर बीजेपी के खिलाफ एंटी इनकम्बेंसी का वो लेवल हरियाणा में था, उसी का नतीजा हमें भुगतना पड़ा। जो बीजेपी के खिलाफ एंटी इनकम्बेंसी थी, बीजेपी के साथ जाने का जो फार्म प्रोटेस्ट था, जो अन्नों का था, पहलवानों का था, और वो जिस तरीके का अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का रेट हरियाणा में नंबर 1 पे है पूरे देश में, और जिस तरीके से कास्ट रिलीजन की पॉलिटिक्स बीजेपी ने हरियाणा में की, उसकी वजह से, उसका पार्टनर होने की वजह से हमारे साथ भी गलत हुआ और बीजेपी भी डबल डिजिट या 20 की जो फिगर है यहाँ तक नहीं पहुंच पाएगी, मैं ये मानता हूँ।
2019 में आप लोगों को 10 सीट मिला था, और आप and you know you broke the INLD in a sense.
the kingmaker,
you were the kingmaker. The deputy chief minister's post went to you. आपका फ्यूचर क्या है इस वक्त? क्योंकि एग्जिट पोल्स, अगर आप एग्जिट पोल्स का ट्रेंड देखें, अगर आपको एक एब्सोल्यूट नंबर न माने, तो आपका परफॉर्मेंस जो है हरियाणा में इस बार शायद काफ़ी ख़राब रहेगा। तो आपका अपना एनालिसिस क्या है जेजेपी का परफॉर्मेंस का?
हम स्वीकार ही कर रहे हैं कि हमारा जो रिजल्ट है वो इतना अच्छा नहीं आएगा। 2 सीटों पर ही हम आज के दिन फाइट में 2 ही सीटें लेने के।
तो आप कह रहे हो कि आप 2 सीट पे फाइट पे है? ओके।
तो दुष्यंत जी जीतेंगे कि नहीं सर? क्योंकि वहां से भी तो ब्रिजेंद्र सिंह लड़ रहे हैं उचना कालन से।
नहीं, उचाना कला से दुष्यंत जी लड़ रहे हैं, हमने वहाँ पे काम किया।
Okay, Virendra ji, just 1 second. Let's go across to Srinagar. Omar Abdullah of the NC speaking. Let's listen in.
उम्मीद क्यों ना रखें? जमहूरियत में बिना ट्रांसपेरेंसी के क्या फ़ायदा? जो भी होगा वो ट्रांसपेरेंट तरीके से होना चाहिए, और लोगों का जो मैंडेट है उसके साथ छेड़छाड़ होनी नहीं चाहिए। अगर लोगों का मैंडेट बीजेपी के खिलाफ निकला तो बीजेपी को फिर इसमें कोई जुगाड़ और वो इस तरह की हरकतें करनी नहीं चाहिए। राजभवन को और मरकज़ की हुकूमत को जिस तरह हम लोगों का फ़ैसला तस्लीम करते हैं, पार्लियामेंट में तस्लीम किया, आज जो भी लोगों का फैसला होगा हमारे हुक्मरान जो है उस फैसले को तस्लीम करें, वही है।
कोalition पर कितनी कॉन्फिडेंस है? एक वजन है जो कोalition हुई है एनसी कांग्रेस में।
अब कोalition तो हमने की इसलिए कि इलेक्शन में कामयाबी मिले, और इंशाल्लाह कामयाबी की उम्मीद रखें।
जो कमेटी बनती है नॉमिनेशन की, उस पर किस तरह?
किस चीज़ की कमेटी?
जो 5 मेंबरों की होती है, जो एमएलए वगैरह।
देखना, इस पे तो कुछ वकीलों ने अपनी राय दी है। हमारे एक वकील जिन्होंने नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस की भी, वो लद्दाख के मामले में आपको याद होगा सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हमारे लिए कामयाबी हासिल की, उन्होंने कहा है कि गवर्नर साहब को अपने आप पे कोई इख्तियारात नहीं है कि वो ये सीटें भरें। ये सीटें अगर भरी जाएंगी तो असेंबली कायम होने के बाद और हुकूमत की जो राय है, पार्लियामेंट में भी यही होता है। प्रणब मुखर्जी साहब प्रेसिडेंट थे, कांग्रेस के बने हुए प्रेसिडेंट थे, लेकिन जब नॉमिनेशंस किए तो मोदी साहब की हुकूमत के राय के मुताबिक किए, कांग्रेस के उन्होंने मेंबर नहीं चुने। तो इसी तरह बेशक गवर्नर साहब मरकज़ की हुकूमत के यहाँ नुमाइंदे हों, लेकिन उन्हें आइन का ख्याल रखना चाहिए, और ये 5 सीटें अगर भरी जाएं तो यहाँ की हुकूमत जो बनती है आज उसकी राय के मुताबिक।
पीडीपी की कोई तजवीज़ मिली है
नहीं ना,
के लिए जो हमने सुना है
ना हमने उनका कोई तजवीज़ ढूंढा, ना उनके तरफ से कोई तजवीज़ हमें मिली है। आज नतीजे निकल जाने दीजिए ना। पता नहीं क्यों हम इतने बेचैन हैं कि इन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने क्या किया। अभी किसी के पास नंबर नहीं है।
सुना था महबूबा जी ने कहा वी आर रेडी टू प्रोवाइड सपोर्ट इफ नीड।
नहीं ना, वो नहीं कहा। जो मैंने सुना वो ये कहा कि हमने कोई फैसला नहीं किया है और हम नतीजों के बाद फैसला करेंगे। पता नहीं हमारे तरफ से इतनी बेचैनी क्यों है कि हम फटाफट कूद जाते हैं और कहते हैं ना कि हम जी बस उनके समर्थन का खैर मकदम करते हैं। उनका समर्थन ना हमने मांगा, ना वहाँ से मिला, ना फिलहाल उसकी कोई ज़रूरत है। नतीजे निकल जाने दीजिए, उसके बाद तमाम पार्टियां जो हैं बैठ के उन पे जो है अपना वो करेंगे एनालिसिस।
Sir, early trends are giving an edge to NC.
No, I don't go by early trends. Last time when results came out, I came here for a run. Early trends were I was winning. घर पहुंच के सारा बदल गया। मुझे early trends मत बताइए ना, लंच के बाद बात करेंगे।
Will Omar Abdullah win from both Budgam and
Inshallah, but no, it's who can say? जो अल्लाह ताला ने रखा होगा वही होगा। और जो गांदरबल और बड़गाम के लोगों ने, मैंने अपने तरफ से जितना मैं कर सकता था किया। और बाकी बाकी डब्बों में है ना, अब डब्बों से निकले नतीजे फिर देखें।
Speaking over there, and it has to be said that he retains a sense of humor. Nazir, when he said that last time around I came here for a run, I was leading, then I went back home and I had lost.
Yes.
But what he did keep talking about, Nazir, significantly was the role of the governor. The sense from that brief conversation is that he believes it's going to be extremely tight and it is going to go down to those 5 nominated candidates.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to know why these 5 candidates are nominated members are there. And why governor has a right to do that even without the consultation of the elected government. We have to understand the constitutional scheme of things. When Jammu and Kashmir Assembly was formed, this under the Union Territory, it was formed on the pattern of Pondicherry Assembly, which was formed in 1962. That time, under Article 239A, by then Home Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, he introduced a bill. But that time, there was a proposal that all the members in the UT, Pondicherry UT, should be nominated members. But remember, there was one MP who was from the PSP, Parija, Sabha Party, PSP, his name was Hari Vishnu Kamath. He introduced a bill, said there should be amendment to this, there should be elected members and there can be some nominated members. So this time there was no, Hari Vishnu Kamath in the parliament and there was no Lal Bahadur Shastri in the parliament this time in 2019 who would have accepted amendment. So this time, when the reorganization of Jammu and Kashmir Act was introduced, there has been a provision of nominated members. First it was 2 members, then last year it was amended again and there is 3 more members were added. So governor has a right to appoint 5 MLAs who have a right to vote even for the election of the government. When you it's a tricky situation. On one hand you have the 90 members. In case of there's a hung assembly, these 5 members will play a key role. And there are no prizes to guess where these 5 members will go.
Okay.
Opposition is saying it is just BJP will start from number 5.
Okay,
members.
just hold that thought
and
for a
then they will
second. I
start
wanted to
from
go
the
back to
zero.
Mayank for a moment. Even if you take for a moment Jammu and Kashmir, these leads at this stage, what I find interesting is that it's 22-19 now. Again, at some stage soon, these will start moving beyond postal ballots to actual trends.
Yeah, which is around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Which is 9 o'clock, right? So another 13 minutes or so. The point is that even now, it's actually a change of plus 12 for the Congress NC compared to last time around, and the BJP up 3. So the Congress and the NC, if you look at these early trends or these early leads, wouldn't be very disappointed at what they're seeing, even though it's quite close. It's substantially more than where they were at this stage last time around.
I think so. These trends will change, but what it clearly shows that others, which used to be a very significant factor in Jammu and Kashmir, and same in Haryana, others are vanishing. So Jammu
The others
Kashmir
are down
also,
6.
So others
are down 6. That's really important. Yeah.
So Jammu Kashmir, like many other states, are also becoming bipolar, and it's.
But my BJP did not really contest on so many seats, right? It was just about 62. So and 43 of that was in Jammu. So it could be possible that these could be from that.
PDP is declining.
PDP is down 8. They're contesting in 81 seats.
And Jammu Kashmir has a tradition of electing at least 10%, 5 to 10% members of independents. That is also coming down, it seems, so far.
Let's just go through a couple of these, and then I'll bring the Nija in as well. The PDP factor is significant. In these early leads, they are actually down 8. They're contesting in 81. There are leads so far for the PDP of in 44 seats. They're leading in just 5. In 2014, at this stage, they were leading in 13. So they're down 8 from last time around. That's going to be an important factor, particularly if there's any talk of the NC and the PDP and Congress coming together in a close situation. That's going to have a potential impact, right?
And you know, PDP also has faced a nightmare of sorts. You know, this kind of setback. You know, with Altaf Bukhari moving out. You know, PDP in some ways has been the actual. The most affected party with respect to abrogation of Article 370. What really happened with PDP was aligning with BJP that big a mistake?
Because the overall dominant mood in the state was against the abrogation, particularly in the valley region, and certainly PDP being the ally, it gave a catapult to NC. And therefore, you see, the moment it happens, suddenly the consolidations of the valley vote in favor of the NC, and that gives a very sort of existential crisis. So, in this term, I think the PDP's expectation is minimal, just to remain relevant. So, suppose as a remote possibility, if NC and Congress government needs the support, so more than independent in PDP, in order to salvage their image of being pro-valley, pro-370, etc., they decides to kind of a support. So that is one of the possibilities. So I think, mind it, at this juncture, NC has a kind of a default benefit, but in future, if they are relevant.
This is interesting. And Nija, let's go through this. The leads position in the Jammu region, all right? This is the Jammu region where the BJP has 18% of the lead so far, the Congress at 6. So that's not unexpected entirely. We'll have to see how many seats that translates into for the Congress and the NC. So we'll think about that for a moment. This is the valley right now, where 16% is in favor of the Congress. Again, no surprises over there. The BJP at 1%. It's going along expected lines, but what seats is translates
it was anyway
into?
expecting only one seat, Gurez, right? That's the ST seat. But Neja, ma'am, you know, with respect to Jammu, BJP won 18 seats there last time. There's a lot of talk about a Dogra CM or a Hindu CM, you know, so that was part of BJP's campaign. Do you think that is one thing that is the differentiator in the BJP's campaign this time, or it's ideological?
You know, I was very surprised to hear from one of the very senior leaders on the BJP side, that if we are in a position, if we are the single largest party, we will definitely form the government. How we do it, but I'm telling you, we will form the government. That's the way he put it. Then he said, no, will it be a Hindu? Yes, they've been promising somebody from Jammu. He said, not necessarily. We may bring a Muslim face. Who will it be? It could be anyone. We don't know who's going to win, and certainly somebody like Muzaffar Beg.
The deputy
CM. So it would give a very different kind of an impression, taking everybody along. So let's see what happens, you know. But obviously, BJP is, you know, the Congress has not made a mark.
No, they've not. And I've got those numbers.
The BJP all the way in Jammu, and that shows, you know, that this election in J&K may be much more about identity than anything else. Kashmir Valley, people are worried about their identity. 370 having dented that. Statehood being taken away, having dented that. In Jammu, it is statehood, it is economic issues, but much more than that, the Hindu overarching Hindu identity. So I think J&K, if you look at it, let's see what the results throw up.
And Vishnu, also in terms of the percentage, 16 and 5 means 16% will walk away with most of the seats. That's the kind of electoral system.
You know who's doing really poorly at this stage in the early leads position is the Congress and the PDP. The Congress leads in 7. In 2014, they were leading in 9, and so they're down 2. Right? The PDP are down a whopping 8 at this stage. So let's take a look at this graphic. The strike rate, the target of course is 46. It could be 48, but that's in a slightly different scenario. The current, the current seats are 25. The seats required 21 of the remaining 38. So in terms of strike rate, the current strike rate is at 48%. The required strike rate is, and this is the strike rate for the Congress and the National Conference.
Okay.
They need to hit above where they're hitting to come to power. It's as simple as that. It's going to be close. They are underperforming, and they're underperforming because of the Congress party.
Okay.
Right, that seems clear. The Congress party has got, the Congress party is now down 2 from last time around in the lead situation. If you take a look at the lead situation, if you look at the strike rate for the Congress and NC, that's what the situation is. The strike rate for the BJP, again, the target of 46. The current situation is 19 at the moment. These are leads. The seats required now 27 of 37. That's going to be tough for the BJP. They will have their required strike rate, Vasudha, is, it seems, very, very difficult at this stage. But now that doesn't necessarily mean that government formation is going to be easy for the others. But it does mean that the BJP is well short of where they would like to be. Obviously now it seems clear that if these leads do continue to become, trends and then results, then the process of government formation is going to be tricky, which is what that's my sense. Nija?
Yes, that unless the NC Congress gets a very clear majority, the BJP is not likely to get a majority.
Ma'am, what are the broad possibilities? Like if you look at looking at 3 possibilities.
About 6 weeks ago, when you talk to people here or there in the state, people would say it's going to be an NC Congress sweep. Right. That's the word they would use. Then came the independents, 365 independents in the fray.
44%, which is
44% of the contestants are independents or these smaller parties. So they have cleared the pitch for the NC Congress. At least that is the popular wisdom. How much of a dent they will actually make, we will know. So will the NC Congress be short of a majority, in which case it has to depend on PDP and some of the independents, and that becomes a difficult area to navigate.
Right.
But, Vishnu, on the Congress, I want to say this. The amount of goodwill for Rahul Gandhi, I was so surprised. Every single person I talked to in the valley, every single person without exception, and I asked them about Rahul Gandhi. What do you think of him? And they had a good word to say. And the Congress party not making the grade. I mean, this is such a
in Haryana, the Congress is above the halfway mark in the leads position. Just a matter of a point of conversation. We'll talk about that in a few moments. We'll take a short break, come back with what is turning out to be, as expected, a fascinating day.
Feels like home.
Dulux Velvet Touch with True Color Technology feels like home.
Dulux. Tap it here and swipe it there. Pound rewards, मैं everywhere. कहीं से भी करूँ collect, spend करूँ direct.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
I've been
reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV World Summit 2024, October 21st and 22nd, only on NDTV Network.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis, and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
Government in Haryana with a big majority.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its
Good morning. Welcome to what will be one way or the other a riveting day for our democracy. The assembly election results in two states, Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. What we are now seeing as we moved, it appears, beyond the postal ballot stage. What you're seeing are trends now coming in. And if you take a look at what's happening in Haryana, the Congress, that's on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, is above the halfway mark. So if these trends hold true, then it appears that the Congress well ahead and well poised as expected to form the government in Haryana. What in a sense is closer is Jammu and Kashmir. The question is how close?
Yes.
And therefore, the Congress and NC, will they be within striking range of forming the government, or is the BJP with 23 poised to put a big problem to them? Because it's 23 and potentially plus 5.
Plus
right?
5, yes.
With the governor's nominated candidates, adding potentially likely to the BJP's tally. So it does appear to be close. Professor Sandeep Shastri with us as well. We'll bring him in a moment, Maria.
But, you know, Vishnu, 39, that Congress NC number that we are looking at, it's important to break that down further. What is the number of NC and what is the number of Congress?
We were doing that.
Because if NC...
The Congress is doing very poorly.
No, but I'm saying if NC... Yes. If NC has actually managed to get more seats, then it is actually the single largest party. then that concern of the single largest party, that if the BJP emerges as the single largest party, then it can be a different story, that goes away. So we'll try and break that down further of how are the numbers placed between Congress and NC. So at the moment, these are early trends, of course. It's 9 a.m. 73 seats we have trends of, but this again, let's put a huge caveat right now. Postal ballots have come to an end. EVM machine counting has just about begun. We have Professor Sandeep Shastri here in the studio. My colleague Mayank is here. We also have Sajjan Kumar joining us. Sajjan, I'm going to begin with you, because I'm looking at those numbers because, more or less, as far as Haryana is concerned, picture clear ho chuki hai. There's nothing called picture abhi baki hai. In Jammu and Kashmir, that's where picture abhi baki hai.
Exactly, and if you see the 24 seats that BJP is leading, it would be primarily concentrated in Jammu region. So that also shows that perhaps Congress is not doing what was expected by the Congress. So that is why we have to see 24 plus 5. For even NC and Congress to form the government, though they are closer, they need to reach out to not only the independents but also to PDP. So PDP also becomes a relevant factor if you see, take their...
As per the last trends, of the 39 Congress NC, 12 were supposed to be Congress and around 27 NCP. And which means still you have trends from 12 more seats to come. And those 12 seats can be critical in whether BJP moves ahead or the alliance is going to cross 45.
Suppose BJP crosses 30 plus, then it will be very closer.
Well, BJP plus those 5 candidates would have likely crossed 30, in which case the role of independence becomes much, much sharper. Very true. But if you look at 39, and firstly, I think what we can actually do is let's have that strike graphic if we can. Let's break up Jammu and Kashmir, and let's have that graphic up on our stage. The strike rate required of each of the formations to come to par. The majority mark is 46. This is what we're looking at in terms of the leads position. The strike rate graphic at this stage, remember the target is 46. For the PDP, we are starting with the PDP, but just briefly, if we are to talk to them, they are in a pretty poor state right now. Just 7 seats, 39 of 16.
And this is the same party which was in power in 2014.
This is the Congress and NC. It's going in a bit of a loop. They need 6 of 15, right? Their current strike rate is 53%. Their required strike rate is 40. So they are now ahead of the curve towards getting to 46, all right? Let's take a look now at the BJP. And the BJP is going to be quite interesting over here because the leads position is at 26, but they would now need 20 seats required, 20 of 4. So they're behind as far as the seat count is concerned. Their current strike rate is 34%. They need 143%. So, Professor Shastri, your thoughts on this?
You see, when you talk of the strike rate, are you looking at 90 or are you looking at 95? Because if you are looking at 95, then the strike rate becomes 40, then the majority becomes 40.
I think we're looking at 90, right?
But at current trends, if this trend were to hold, I think the Congress-NC alliance has a little better chance because their numbers are a little higher in terms of leads as compared to the BJP. And the NC seems to be the single largest party at the current moment.
Absolutely. And in this, NC's own strike rate is pretty high because NC, remember, contested on 52 seats and the Congress contested on 31 seats. They were friendly fight in 5 constituencies, which included Banihal, Sopore, Nagrota. So NC's own strike rate appears to be around 50% or perhaps more. And if the Congress is supposed to be just doing the heavyweight lifting in Jammu region.
NC is up 29 from last time. They're doing extremely well.
Absolutely.
It's the PDP and the Congress who are doing terribly. The PDP is in a terrible way. They're down 15 from last time. We'll talk about them later. But let's go across to Sunil Prabhu at the Congress Party headquarters. Sunil, go ahead.
So the firecrackers have started here, and I hope, Pavan Kera, you are an old Delhiite, you'll condemn this firecrackers because we need to breathe today. After a long time, the Congress is breathing. Why are you spoiling the Delhi?
We'll tell them they are enthusiastic supporters. We'll tell them not to burst firecrackers. But, well, I'm not a Delhiite, I'm a Rajasthani.
But this is as expected. Both Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir.
Results would be as expected by us, but more than what was expected by all of you and the exit pollsters.
Now, it comes to the issue of, in Haryana, it's virtually now a two-third majority. Does the Congress High Command, and I know you have been political secretary to Sheila Dixit, is there a chance now to bring in a fresh face, or do you will go by the time and trusted the Hoodas?
In our party, there is no centralized decision making. We believe in taking the opinions of all the legislative party and let the legislative party give their opinion to the central leadership, and that's how we take our decisions.
The central party, of course, will definitely do that exercise, but you know very clearly the numbers are in favor of Mr. Hooda. But is there a possibility, like you saw Selja, she said she's a Dalit leader, she wants to emerge as the thing. Is there a chance for her?
Such decisions are not taken by 24 Akbar Road. They are taken by the legislative parties.
Okay, the issue about Jammu and Kashmir, how are things going to work out?
Very good. We are very confident. We are very confident that we'll be able to implement our positive agenda in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and we'll be able to heal the wounds of Jammu and Kashmir.
What is your message to Prime Minister Modi as well as Home Minister Amit Shah?
He should have a jalebi today.
You should have a jalebi today. So here you have it. You should have a jalebi. Pawan Kehra very clearly saying, finally the High Command will take note of the MLAs.
Now, Sunil, we know that you are very fond of jalebis as well. By the end of the day, just make sure that, we are all getting old. Don't have too many jalebis now, Sunil. But let's focus a little bit more. Haryana seems to be quite easy, right? Sunil, a serious comment. I care about my colleagues' health. Let's go across to Jammu and Kashmir, bring up Nazir Masoodi in a moment. But let's just, as we bring in Nazir, go through
the numbers.
The numbers. The National Conference up 29 from last time. They are leading in 29, contesting in 56, leading. So far, they've got leads and results and leads in 47 seats, of which they are leading in 29.
And even as you speak...
the Congress is down one.
Yes.
So, I mean, had it not been
-2
for the
now,
NC, is that the case?
Yes, the
so,
latest trend.
-1, -2. So the Congress is doing quite poorly. So it's the NC, the single largest party. I think we are fair to say, Professor Shastri.
We should note that the Congress-NC alliance is coming close to the halfway mark. They are at 44 now, and any moment.
Entirely on the back of so that entire thing, who's going to be the single largest party, that has been pretty much resolved. The Congress's performance at down one, Maria was seeing down 2 on her machine. Yeah. That is a big factor against them.
The reason for that is
down 2.
The reason for that is Congress is fighting largely in Jammu. And in Jammu the BJP seems to be doing well. So that explains the Congress not doing well in terms of its numbers.
So all the numbers are essentially coming for the NC because they had contested on more number of seats. They did so in the Valley region. Remember, post delimitation, these are elections that are happening. So that's an important aspect to point out. There are 47 in the Valley and 43 in Jammu. There were lots of talks of how this, delimitation, is this really anti-Valley on that narrative? But I can see Nazir Masoodi joining us live. Nazir, of course, very, very early, 9 a.m., but the numbers are consolidating.
Nazir, are you a fan of laddus as well?
Of course, if anybody offer me here. So I saw Omar Abdullah just passing through this road here at Boulevard. He was really smiling, very happy. And they all said he will, talk after lunch when he will be having clear numbers. But what we have got so far, besides the, EC numbers which we have leads, the locally what I have been able to gather so far, NC is leading, these are early trends, in 36 seats, Congress on 10, BJP on 26 seats, and PDP on 5 seats. In fact, early leads also show that a National Conference is leading in Bijbahara as well, where Mehbooba Mufti's daughter, Iltija Mufti, is contesting. And here in Srinagar, behind me, where counting is taking place at SKICC,
Nazir, just hold
I'll
on
tell
to
you,
your
for
thoughts.
example, Tanveer Sadiq,
the Congress-NC alliance in early trends have actually crossed the halfway mark to form the government. If these numbers actually hold, then the Congress-NC at 9 a.m., 9:10 have crossed the halfway mark. Yes, but these are very early.
In both the states.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Exactly, but some of them are still postal ballots. Some of them, first round has been completed in many, places. For example, I'll tell you, Tanveer Sadiq of National Conference chief spokesman is leading from Zadibal. Ali Muhammad Sagar, general secretary, is also leading. Bashir Ahmad Veeri of National Conference from Bijbara is leading against Mehbooba Mufti's daughter Iltija Mufti. National Conference candidate Saifuddin Butt is leading from Khan Saab in Badgam district. Mia Meher Ali is leading in Kangan as well. Sakina Yittu, senior National Conference leader, and she is leading from Damhar.
But Nazir, let me just ask you this.
And there are People's Conferences leading from Handwara.
Nazir, the story of independence to me is also fascinating. The independents are doing disastrously this time around.
Although huge numbers were fielded.
In 2014, there were 17, who won. This time, or who were in the lead position. This time, they're down 17. And the PDP is as big a story. The PDP is down 16 this time from last time around. In 2014, they were 24. They are down 16. So the immediate political future of the PDP is something which Mehbooba Mufti would really be needed to introspect, call it what you may.
And just to add to that, Nazir, you were saying now that Iltija Mufti, daughter of...
Maria.
Yes. Go ahead.
Omar Abdullah is leading from both Gandarbal and Badgam.
Right.
Okay. What
so
about
that's the big news.
Iltija?
Omar
What
Abdullah,
about Iltija
who lost
Mufti?
recent parliament elections.
Yes.
Iltija, so far what we are getting, that she was trailing in Bijbehara. It was Bashir Ahmad Veeri. But as I said, these are early trends, mix of the postal ballots as well as first round. And these are early trends.
Just a word on Bijbehara.
2-3 rounds.
This is,
then
of course,
we can say, yes,
the family turf of the Muftis. Iltija is making her electoral
Bashir
debut.
Ahmad Veeri.
And Bashir Ahmad Veeri.
There is Bashir Ahmad Veeri is leading. He has got so far 3,451 votes and he is leading. And his nearest rival is Mehbooba Mufti's daughter, Iltija Mufti.
That's an important one.
So it is though PDP actually a setback, early setback for the PDP as they are only leading on 5 seats. Independents were 44% candidates and they were being accused of being backed by the BJP, and in fact BJP president here, Ravinder Raina, during his repeated interviews after has been saying they have the independent candidates in Kashmir who are being backed by them. With their help, they can form the government.
Sure. But Nazir, I think just for the benefit of our viewers, and I think let's just take a look at the larger picture, Maria, shall we, in Jammu and Kashmir. The resounding performance so far of the National Conference appears to have propelled the National Conference Congress alliance to the #1 position right now. These are leads, not results as yet, but very, very strong leads at this stage. The Congress party in this alliance is actually down 2. However, the NC is leading in 33, so a substantial gain from them from where they were last time around as well. The BJP up 3, so it's not as if the BJP has done worse than last time around, but it's the NC which is defining the path. Yeah. Professor Shastri, would you agree, of these elections?
Undoubtedly.
Irrespective of
if you look at the numbers which the NCD is leading in, we have been consistently maintaining the point ever since the exit poll day that the single largest party will be a critical factor in Jammu and Kashmir. And if these trends hold, the NC clearly is the single largest party, several seats ahead of the BJP.
They were contesting in 56 seats. So far, the counting has happened for 55, maybe not the final counting. Of that, they're leading in 36, and the change is 36.
So basically, they got 0 in 2014.
In 2014, they didn't win any.
Yeah.
So, Mayank?
While introducing the show, you use one phrase, revetting democracy. Today is a day of revetting democracy.
It is.
In the sense, for last 10 years,
not close
counting day used to be so boring and predictable.
Yes.
Counting day used to be so predictable up till now for last 10 years. Today, see, Congress has every reason to celebrate now.
In Haryana, not so much in Kashmir.
In both the places.
Sure, they're in power.
But BJP is just down, not out.
Absolutely.
BJP has, it seems from early trends, BJP has maintained its vote share. And after 10 years of incumbency in both the places, they
look
still
at
have.
the BJP number, if it actually consolidates around this number, they had 40 last time around.
They had 40.
2019, they had 140, so they are down 7. which means there is a possibility that this could not be a huge dip in the vote share.
Yeah.
A lot of people predict that towards the end of the campaign, the BJP did pick up in Haryana also. There was an estimate of being less than 30, but if these trends hold, it seems to be going to be more than 30. A clear two-party competition is on the cards, with the smaller parties being pushed to the side.
I mean, one was not expecting above 30 for BJP, even in the best case scenario. People were expecting around 20-25 sort of thing.
So it's not a bad performance.
It's a good performance after 10 years.
Yeah.
It's the JJP vote which has gone to Congress.
Yes.
BJP, which is
much better for the BJP than expected over there. Just briefly, one more point about Jammu and Kashmir. Others, Professor Shastri, they're down 19. In 2014, there were 19 others who'd won. So all those independents we thought who might play a real factor, at this stage there appear to be no factor at all.
Trends are in from all save 2 seats. So it's very clear that the independents and smaller parties are not really so much in the race in the valley. And of course, if the trends change as the EVMs
Okay, Professor Shastri, interrupting you now. We need to go across to my colleague Aishwarya, who's got a BJP spokesperson with him. Aishwarya, go ahead.
Zafar Islam is with me, sir. Unlike of the Congress headquarters, where the leaders have arrived, there are jalebis which are being distributed, firecrackers being busted, although altogether the leaders have told them not to bust firecrackers because of the air pollution, but no halwas and laddus over here at the BJP headquarters.
See, one needs to wait, because Congress party is actually celebrating very early. They will be disappointed once all the results are out. We are extremely confident that once all the results are out, Bharatiya Janata Party will be able to form government in Haryana as well as in Jammu and Kashmir, because these are very initial trend, very initial trend. After the postal ballot, is the first round of counting is on at the moment. There are many rounds of counting left to be done. So we are confident that once at least 7-8 rounds of counting is done, then perhaps we will be in a position to assess where we stand, whether we are winning with 2/3 majority, whether we are winning with...
Still confident of the victory in Haryana, but Jammu and Kashmir seems a different story. Your leaders have stated that in Kashmir there are independents backed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, but they have not done pretty well as far as the early trends are suggesting. How do you see that happening?
No, the initial trend clearly suggests, of course it is an initial trend, but the initial trend suggests that we are currently around close to 37-38 seats. And we, as you rightly mentioned, that we have like-minded people who are fighting as independent candidate in the valley. Definitely, if they win, we will have an alliance with them, and we will be able to...
The party told the supporters not to come early in the morning at the headquarters. They should wait for the results.
No, we do not communicate anything to our Karyakarta. They come on their own. So it is for them, up to them when they want to come. But definitely, once the victory is there, once we know the result, and of course the Karyakartas know the result, they will start coming to the party headquarters.
They're still waiting for the results to come in, and in anticipation of the victory, Syed Zafar Islam, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, clearly had been stating that they are still hopeful that Bharatiya Janata Party will emerge as winner, but the early trends are suggesting otherwise.
Okay. Aishwarya, thank you so much for joining us. But let's shift focus now to the winning side. Gurpreet is joining us from Rohtak. That's where the Hooda bastion is. Gurpreet, celebrations have begun already, and we could see those posters which said Hooda Sarkar rather than Congress Sarkar.
Well, Bhupinder Singh Hooda is taking very calculative step, and what we have seen, a huge number of supporters, they have already gathered here. So I will show all these colorful visuals from here, what is happening on the ground at this point of time. So far, Bhupinder Singh Hooda, the former Chief Minister of Haryana, he hasn't come out of his residence, but a lot of supporters, they have come here. So I'll request my Vijay to show all these visuals. There is a total celebration mood, and some of the supporters are with us. So अब number भी आ रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं अभी हुड्डा साहब बाहर नहीं आए, तो क्या लग रहा है?
10 मिनट में बाहर आ रहे हैं हुड्डा साहब, और कम से कम 75 पार सीट आने की उम्मीद है, जैसे अभी वो चल रहा है। और जम्मू कश्मीर में भी एक तरफा माहौल चल रहा है, वहाँ भी कांग्रेस आ रही है। और सीएम भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा आज शाम तक 12 बजे दोपहर 12 बजे तक सीएम भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा होंगे।
तो क्या लगता है, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं अभी बीजेपी के अभी स्पोक्स पर्सन है दिल्ली में, वो कह रहे हैं अभी तो फर्स्ट राउंड है, राउंड काफ़ी होते हैं, वेट करो, अभी वी आर नॉट एबल टू कम अप टू सम रिजल्ट, अभी रिजल्ट पे आने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो क्या देख रहे हैं आप?
देखना ये सर, एक नारा दिया था बीजेपी ने कि भाई कांग्रेस मुक्त नारा, तो आज ऐसे हालात शुरू हो गए हैं, हम उनको साफ बताना चाहते हैं बीजेपी को, आला कमान तक की। हरियाणा से आज उनकी उल्टी गिनती शुरू हो गई है। अब होगा एक अलग से नारा चलेगा, बीजेपी साहब, यहाँ से मतलब पूरे देश में एक आवाज़ जाएगी। ये जो हरियाणा का इलेक्शन यहाँ नहीं रुकेगा, महाराष्ट्र, छत्तीसगढ़, दिल्ली, ओवरऑल यानी कि बीजेपी साहब का नारा।
सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन तो यही है कि अभी कह रहे हैं फर्स्ट राउंड है, फर्स्ट राउंड के बाद कहीं ना कहीं अभी कह रहे हैं बाकी राउंड भी वेट करो, तो क्या पहले सबसे पहले
जितने राउंड बढ़ते जाएंगे उतनी ही लीड बढ़ती जाएगी, बीजेपी बिल्कुल साफ हो जाएगी। क्योंकि तारीख 8 भाजपा साहब का नारा हुड्डा साहब ने बोला था और वो तकरीबन पूरा होता दिखाई दे रहा है।
मुख्यमंत्री भी आ रहे हैं, नायब सिंह सैनी भी, दुष्यंत चौटाला भी आ रहे हैं,
पार कांग्रेस 75 पार, बीजेपी जुमना पार।
तो क्या लग रहा है, कैसे
रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छे आ रहे हैं और कांग्रेस सरकार 75 पार, जो नारा बीजेपी ने दिया था 75 पार का, उसको पिछले बार पूरा नहीं किया, लेकिन हुड्डा साहब ने इस नारा को 75 पार पूरा कर दिया।
ये जो जीता है ना, पहले जो हुड्डा सरकार ने काम किए थे उसके विकास और विश्वास पे वोट दिया लोगों ने, और आगे आने वाला जो टाइम होगा हुड्डा साहब का ही है, और जो काम वादे किए वो पूर्ण करेंगे।
तो क्या लग रहा है, क्योंकि नंबर तो अभी कहीं ना कहीं कांग्रेस की फेवर है, एग्जिट पोल भी कांग्रेस की फेवर में, आपको क्या लग रहा है?
जब हम एग्जिट पोल से पहले ही सरकार बना चुके थे, मेरा बिल्कुल साथ वाला घर है और मेरा इसी घर में जन्म हुआ था 2004 में जब हमारी सरकार बनी। जब के राज से 10 साल हमने बहुत अच्छा राज देखा, हमारे घर में इन्वर्टर तक नहीं था, रोहतक में क्या पूरे हरियाणा में आरओ लगाने तक की भी स्थिति नहीं थी, लेकिन इस लास्ट के 10 सालों में जिस प्रकार हाल हुआ है वो सबने देखा।
मैम आपसे भी बात करेंगे, तो बड़े कलरफुल विजुअल्स है यहाँ पे, देख रहे हैं कि कैसे कांग्रेस के रंग में आए हुए हैं।
तो ये सभी जितने भी आप पत्रकार साथी भी देख सकते हैं, जैसे ही सुबह था और कल रात को यहाँ पर भीड़ जुटनी शुरू हो गई थी। जल्दी मुख्यमंत्री भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा जी शपथ का अनाउंसमेंट होना बाकी है, जीत हमारी पक्की थी, बस ऐलान होना बाकी है।
तो क्या लगता है, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं आप देख रहे हैं लोग भी आ रहे हैं, खुशियों का माहौल भी है, तो क्या लगता है कि कैसे रहेगा, भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे?
मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे और इस प्रदेश को नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाएंगे। जो ये भाईचारे की, छत्तीस बरादरी के भाईचारे को पाटा गया था बीजेपी द्वारा, आज वो भाईचारा एक है। क्योंकि जिस बीजेपी ने भाईचारे के दम को पाने के लिए तरह तरह के षड्यंत्र रचे गए थे, आज आप देख रहे हैं छत्तीस बरादरी एक है। ये छत्तीस बरादरी भाईचारे, ये दीपेंद्र हुड्डा की मेहनत और भाई जो शकुंतला खट्टक जी जिन्होंने सारी बरादरी एक हुई है, उनकी जीत है।
तो क्या लगता है कि बीजेपी के खिलाफ थे लोग या बीजेपी ने डेवलपमेंट नहीं की, क्या मेन कारण क्या लग रहा है?
मेन कारण यह क्या है, बीजेपी सरकार ने रोजगार दिया, इसमें बेरोजगारी में नंबर 1 बना दिया, नशे में युवाओं को नशे की तरफ धकेल दिया इन्होंने। यहाँ पर नशे की पूरी लत लगी हुई युवाओं में, और जनता बदलाव चाहती थी। दीपेंद्र हुड्डा ने और भूपेंद्र हुड्डा ने दिन रात मेहनत की,
जनता बदलाव चाहती थी। आज कहीं ना कहीं इनिशियल ट्रेंड है जो कांग्रेस के हक में आ रहे हैं, लेकिन बीजेपी कह रही है अभी वेट करो, कई राउंड्स है उसके बाद करेंगे। तो क्या लग रहा है?
क्लियर बहुमत मिलने जा रहा है। उसका कारण ये है कि 10 साल में इन लोगों ने बिल्कुल भी विकास नहीं किया, और जनता को, पूरे हरियाणा की इन लोगों ने यहाँ तक कि पानी के लिए, एक बूंद के लिए तरसाया। कोई विकास किया हो तो मुझे बताओ। इसका कारण यही है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी आ रही है और बीजेपी जा रही है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी आ रही है, लेकिन सबसे बड़ा सवाल अब ये है कि भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा मुख्यमंत्री बनाएंगे, क्योंकि
मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा एक तरफा, और 70 सीटें आएंगी।
तो क्या लगता है?
इसका कारण ये है कि 36 बिरादरी के अंदर पूरे हरियाणा में एक ही आवाज है, चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा मुख्यमंत्री बने। उसका कारण ये है कि जितना 10 साल में कांग्रेस के टाइम।
Okay, we're going to come back from Mr. Hooda's residence, Gurpreet, in just a moment. But some news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where the Jammu and Kashmir BJP President Ravinder Raina at this stage is trailing from Nowshera. But the overall situation in Kashmir, it seems pretty settled at 51. The Congress NC, riding entirely on the back of the NC, appear to be coming to power quite comfortably. I guess in just another hour or so, we may be in a position to call these elections one way or the other, but still very much in the level of leads, but a lot of leads, not pretty much from all the seats.
Yes. We have Guru Prakash Paswan joining us from the BJP, Tarun Upadhyaya, senior journalist, Rimple Sohi, Kadyana's JJP spokesperson, and also Mahima Singh will be joining me shortly. Yeah, I can see Mahima as well. So, coming to you, Guru Prakash Paswan, matter of huge concern for the Congress, for your party, for the BJP?
No, Maria, I think we have served for about 10 years in Haryana, and after 10 years, the Election Commission of India website is in front of me. What I see is that Congress is leading in 6 seats, BJP is at 4 seats, INLD is on 1 seat. So I think it's too early, the initial trends, postal ballot, and we could wait for another 35 minutes, 45 minutes to take a final call. I think it's too early to comment anything, Maria.
No, but Guru Prakash, I take that point, but you know, I mean, we've also got the numbers, we're also relying on them. If we take a look at the leads position right now, which we have on our stage, it's between 47 and 48 to the Congress and the BJP at 36. Now, what is interesting is that you've not drastically fallen since 2019. You're down approximately 5 to 6 at this stage.
But pretty much holding on.
But holding on in many senses elsewhere. But the fact that the Congress is up 18, I think that is a decider. It's clearly a two-party election as we'd expected. How would you look at the performance of the BJP this time around?
No, Vishnu, like you said that the difference is not very much.
No, it's
and,
not. From
it's
last
very
time for the
initial.
BJP,
it's about,
it's not, yeah.
As per your... Yeah, as per your assessment also, Vishnu, it's hardly 9 seats. And round 1 counting has been done.
That's
true. Round 2, round 3. But after 10 years of service, like you said, 10 years of government in Haryana and 10 years of government in Delhi with the double engine narrative, we are still doing fairly well. If you
That's a
ask
valid
me,
point. In fact, at this stage, you know, you're
we,
down 3. That's it. You're just down 3 after so many terms in power in this particular state. But the story it has to be said, is the Congress. At this stage, it's a...
And the Congress's gain is at the cost of JJP, because in 2019, the JJP had won 10 seats.
They're leading in 1 now.
Yeah, so they're down 9. So that is a concern. What do you have to say, Rimple? It's end of road for JJP and INLD as well, but not as much as INLD, I would say. So all the gamble that Dushyant had just before the elections, the Lok Sabha polls, he thought that he'll be able to cut anti-incumbency against
doing much better than last
the
time.
party. Is, that is not to be.
See, as far as your comment about the end of the road is concerned, no, I do not think so. I think somewhere this election. I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
In this election, is it end of the road? We're not saying it's the end of the road for your party by no means.
Yeah. Yes, I would say this has mostly been exactly along the lines of the Lok Sabha elections, as we can see.
Dushyant is actually trailing.
As we can see, it's been...
Dushyant is trailing in Uchana, in his own seat, Uchana Kalam. So that's terrible news for you.
Yes, of course. But I do not consider it news as yet. This is just the first round. I'm going to wait up. I'm going to hold on to hope till at least 11 a.m.
Okay, but you know,
let's see what happens.
Is evident here is also that there is that, you know, the sense was that in 2019, the Jat consolidation happened in favor of one of the regional parties, that the JJP. They are going back to a party which is taking on the BJP, which is here the Congress.
We have never said that. We will never say that. We will never say that we are a Jat-only party. We will never say that we aim to consolidate the Jat vote. All throughout the campaign, our leaders have maintained, I have maintained, that we are a party for all of Haryana, and we wish to serve Haryana as such.
Advocate Mahima Singh, of course, the numbers are looking pretty promising. At the moment, it's 9:30. Still, you know, several rounds of EVM counting to go ahead. Is the Congress okay with its performance, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir? Are you satisfied?
Jai Hind, Maria, as always, we humbly accept the people's mandate, and I think it is a befitting result for those who backstabbed the innocent population of Haryana, the innocent voter of Haryana, over the last 5 years, especially more than the 10 years. 10 years it's been BJP's rule, and all it did during this whole election campaign was to target the Congress, was to target, the public of Haryana. We remember how the daughters of Haryana were thrashed just next to the parliament as Central Vista was. Our daughters were being thrashed, and it did not raise an eyebrow for the BJP, for the Prime Minister, for any of their leaders. So I think the state of Haryana, which takes great pride in its daughters, has given them a befitting response. The farmers have given a befitting response to the BJP and the JJP government that ruled for the last 5 years. And we are looking forward to a great mandate, to a strong mandate.
Yes.
But Mahima, let me ask you a little bit about Jammu and Kashmir. It does seem that if these trends hold, and chances are they may, then because your alliance is up at 50, so it does appear that you are riding very much on the back of the NC, which is up a whopping 40, which is an incredible performance by your alliance partner. But the Congress itself is down 4. In 2014, you were at 12. You're leading now in 8. That's down 4. Again, leads position. Are you not disappointed by the performance of the Congress? A lot of people, including your alliance partner, in terms of the performance of the Congress party in rallies, etc., in Jammu, they had said that, the Congress really needs to get its act together. In the context of Jammu, do you believe you've done enough?
Once again, I would say, Vishnu, we humbly accept the people's mandate as always. Because the state of Jammu and Kashmir had been in such a crisis. It's an election after 10 years. And just last night, as you would have seen, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, Mr. K.C. Venugopal have indicated to foul play behind the curtain, and they have strongly put forward the fact that we have evidence. If needed, we'll put forward that evidence. So we hope that the BJP will let the result be the way it is. And the fact remains, Vishnu, that the BJP did not field its candidates on most of the seats in Jammu, in Kashmir. It was just 19 seats out of 46 in Kashmir, in the state of Kashmir, which they were talking about, which they were taking great pride in abrogating the Article 370 from. Why could they not field the candidates from that state? Why are they on to the foul play now, which our leaders are having to indicate? Those are the questions that need to be asked today. The Congress party, as far as we are concerned, will accept every public mandate with humility. We will be duty bound for our voters.
Now, Sajjad Lone is
whether it a
leading
win or a defeat.
in Handwara. You wanted to make a point there on Sajjad Lone. Because this time there were record number of independents, and there was a lot of interest around how is Engineer Rashid's party doing, how is Jamaat Islami doing, how is Apni party
They've done terribly.
None of them are factors
They're
right
not
now.
factors.
They're not really factors.
Zero independence.
No, to be fair to them also, there already was a narrative against them that they are the proxy of the BJP, and given the kind of the sentiment in Valley post 370 abrogation,
which of course he denied completely.
Of course, I mean, they were seen as a proxy. So whatever little legitimacy they may have was already eroded. So while they created a kind of a budge,
they're up in only one seat.
Exactly. So the very charge that they are a proxy of the BJP in Valley region certainly went against them.
You made a really important point. The PDP over here, at down 24 from last time, there were 128 seats. At down 24 this time around, leading in only 4. They are certainly going to be not the principal opposition.
No, so they're neither the ruling party nor the opposition.
Nor the opposition.
So that's the real crisis of the PDP.
I think the real crisis here is that the daughter, if actually, yes, she's consistently training, Iltija.
The fact that the PDP is leading only in 4 seats, I think, and being in the Kashmir Valley, the fact that this party had aligned with the BJP in the previous elections and had come to power, in that state, I think is impacting on the PDP in the Valley. That you were a party who formed a government with the BJP. That I think is impacting on the PDP's performance.
It's a huge defeat potentially for the PDP and for their politics going
and if
forward.
we were to look at the Congress NC has consolidated around 51, could go up, could go down. But in Haryana,
is very close.
Haryana is still very close.
Very close.
It's appearing to be very surprising in terms of how it's playing out right now.
God, I blinked and I looked again. And so Haryana, which 10 minutes ago appeared to be...
Tarun Upadhyay is joining us. Tarun, what's your reading particularly now?
which you are showing that Alliance is getting about 51 and the BJP 27. And the other thing that BJP state president Ravinder Rana is trailing from Naushera. It sums up, the trailing of Ravinder Rana and the BJP getting 27, it sums up the story of the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir. Firstly, if Rana is trailing and the BJP is sweeping the Jammu region, the important point which arises here is that then if in the event of government formation that will be NC Congress will come to power, if these numbers do hold, then there will be the Jammu in the governance. If we go, I am not sure what is the exact number of Congress, but as far as I can see, the Congress doesn't have any Hindu face which are winning. So last time also the Congress got 12 seats, but there was not a single Hindu in the Hindu who won from the Congress seat. So in the Hindu majority area, if the BJP is sweeping, so in the event of the government, where will be the Jammu representation? Especially I'm talking about the Hindus.
I wanted to go across to Professor Shastri because there's a huge reverse which is happening in terms of the early trends in Haryana. It's now neck and neck, Congress and the BJP, when there was a clear-cut lead of the Congress even 5 minutes ago, more rounds of counting, and it appears that's absolutely even Stevens. It's too close to call from being quite clear in favor of the Congress. Professor Shastri, your thoughts?
I think this is a very dramatic shift in the trend that we are noticing, where the Congress has just a 1-seat lead in trends. People were talking of the BJP being in the 25 to 30 range, but now its leads are 42.
We were asking who the next chief minister would be. Would it be a surprise? Perhaps we should roll back those questions.
I think it's early because it's 9:30 only. We'll have to wait and see how it actually consolidates.
BJP would be very happy if that is the lead situation.
No, it's still in terms of the vote percentage, Congress has 4% lead. I mean, 38-42.
That's how election commission is.
Yeah. So still the Congress is 4% lead.
But 4%
BJP
lead,
is 32.2 and
that's why
Congress is 40.
it's very close. I mean, 4% lead, it's 43-42.
Yeah.
Technically right now.
In a two-cornered contest, a 4% lead can
Is
make
a
a lot
landslide.
of difference. But this seems to show that it's a neck and neck race in Haryana also, as per current trends.
Yes, but I'm just trying to understand. In assembly elections, there are around 12 rounds, 12 to 13, depending on the size, not more than that. And if it would have started around 8:30, 1 hour already, so close to 5-6 rounds would be over.
2-3 rounds.
2-3 rounds would be over. And if this is the trend, now the BJP is up, surprisingly, in Haryana. I mean, and it's going up again, 44.
I think Haryana will be, so you have to wait until 11 o'clock just because the way it's moving.
I think it's something very dramatic is happening there. We don't know how these numbers are actually playing out. Very different from what it was around 9, shifting completely now. So let's hold our horses and let's wait and see how it is. Mahima, a word on how you're looking at Haryana right now? Of course, very early, so we are not sitting in judgment at all.
These are changing trends, as you rightly pointed out, Maria, but Haryana, as I already said, has ousted the rule. That I can assure you. What the mandate comes out to be is to be seen. But we are going to sweep Haryana. It's going to be a clear win because, as we have been talking about through the elections, Jawan, Pehelwan, Kisan, Mahila, everybody has been troubled. The issues are galore. And I think the BJP has failed to address them. More than the issues being there, the BJP has looked away from them persistently. And at the end, their campaign was stooping so low that it was...
Now they're ahead, they're 3 ahead. Ma'am, the BJP is 1 ahead now. It's going back and forth. We need to all catch our breath also.
I assure you, Vishnu, it's going to be a clear win for the Congress.
Yes, we are not saying anything, ma'am. We are just showcasing numbers. 940, this is what the numbers are.
I asked you a question 5 minutes ago, assuming that you had won the election. I am now asking you a question now, assuming that the chances are that you may be losing. So,
we are forming the government, Vishnu.
It is very early. It is very early.
It's too early.
But it may be closer, one way or the other. I think that's a fair sort of statement to make at this
so
stage. It's not going to be a...
Maria. Yes. So, Mahima, continue. You were making a point, please. Go ahead.
I was saying that we are forming the government with what margins needs to be seen.
Sure.
But we are forming the government because the people of Haryana, we were on the ground. We have seen how the people of Haryana talked about the agonies they've been put through over the past 10 years. And it's high time that we got change. You see unemployment at an all-time high, inflation, the injustices on all fronts. So Rahul Gandhi ji, when he came in the last 4 days and he addressed the people through the yatras, the excitement was, I think, very prevalent all over. And that is what is going to reflect through the results. I can see this round is bringing a sort of a surprise for all of us, but I think the next round of counting will bring a
okay. So let's wait. Let's wait.
Will bring a bigger surprise for all of us.
We can shift focus to Jammu and Kashmir, and that's where
it's interesting.
It's
flipped, right? What we were talking a few
absolutely
hours back.
in matter of few seconds.
Haryana would be absolutely clear, Kashmir would be tight, but it's gone the other way around.
Yes. So okay, Nazir, what are the big numbers in terms of the highlights that you're picking up? And Nazir, I want to know in terms of how many rounds over, how many more rounds to go in EVM counting?
Well, there are several rounds going, but there have been at least 2 rounds in most of the constituencies, and it's clear National Conference has crossed 40 mark in the early leads. So, and Congress is only leading on the 7 constituencies, BJP is leading on 24 constituencies, Sajjad Loon's People's Party is leading on 3 constituencies. Interestingly, Engineer Rashid's brother, his own constituency, Langate, he is trailing there as well. So against the Sajjad Loon's candidate, Irfan Pandit Puri in Langate. As we reported earlier, trends also show Omar Abdullah leading from both the seats, Ganderbal and Budgam. And then you have Patan constituency. In the first round, it was Imran Ansari of the People's Conference, he is leading. And then you have Chanpora, Altaf Bukhari, who was the first political party that was launched, first political party that was launched after abrogation of 370, a party known as King's Party in Kashmir. He is himself trailing from the Chanpora, where National Conference candidate Mushtaq Guru is leading. And Gurez, where BJP was hoping to win, and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh himself and other senior leaders campaigned their Gurez around near the line of control in Kashmir Valley, and it was only seat where it was expected that BJP may win, but National Conference is leading there. So, and there are others, Handwara, as I said, Sajjad Loon is leading from there, and Iltija Mufti was trailing. But as I said, these are early trends, they may change, but right now it appears that PDP is doing very, very bad. It is first time after the formation of PDP, they are doing very, very bad if these trends don't change. And National Conference is doing extremely well. And their strike rate appears to be, as far as early trends are concerned, very, very high. They have contested only on 56 seats, but therefore now they're leading on 44 seats. That is phenomenal. And BJP is leading on 23 seats. That's right now I'm getting.
All right, so Nazir, any reactions from Omar Abdullah? He's leading in Ganderbal at this stage. It's, I mean...
In both these constituencies,
in Budgam as well. Any, recent reactions a few hours back, he was apprehensive.
Comfortable margin.
I see. What is the margin of his lead?
Yes, he was very apprehensive because he was...
Okay, in fact, Bhupinder Hooda is speaking. Let's listen in. That's the bastion of Hooda's. Hooda, Bhupinder Hooda, making this about his battle and consolidation of the Jat vote. So what is evident here is, and if these numbers actually hold, it could be a different picture. Maybe Mr. Hooda should have waited for another half an hour to 45 minutes for picture to become clearer. The BJP at the moment at 45, which means they are crossing the halfway mark. Congress at 40. There's a gap of just 5 seats. Of course, these are early trends. Just 2 rounds of EVM counting over. But Bhupinder Hooda, on the day of exit polls, had indicated, I would say, that he is confident of a bigger number. He had said that he is expecting a landslide victory. But, you know, at 9:45, it may not be too much of good news at the moment, but it's too early for us to really make any conclusion. But just look at the numbers in terms of how it was, you know, vis-a-vis various regions.
Southeast.
We are looking at various regions
southern,
of Haryana. In South, the Congress seem to have gained for 10%, 44, they are up 44. The BJP at 39, so they have not made any losses. You know, this is dramatically shifting, dramatically changing. In central Haryana, which is where Rohtak and other parts are, that's where 19 seats become very important, which are seen as the Jat land of Haryana. Congress at 43%, which means they have made a massive gain of 16%. BJP down slightly, just 1% down, Sandeep Shastri. They are not down and out. I mean, it's a party which is holding on pretty much. And just look at this, north of her.
BJP is edging ahead of the Congress in terms of this lead situation, Maria, now. And I think this entire narrative that we've been talking about in the morning through of the Congress resoundingly coming to power in Haryana, that has to be questioned. It's Mahima Singh of the Congress telling us that she feels that they will form the government one way or the other. But it is increasingly going to be difficult for the Congress to do that with the BJP up ahead. In fact, if anybody at this stage, it's 9:47
yeah,
in the morning.
It appears to be neck and neck
the BJP is up ahead.
Yeah, so it's
they're up ahead only 4 versus 2019. The Congress at up 10, but it's not enough.
So if this is actually the picture, Mayank.
Something interesting is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. See, if independents were proxies of BJP, they are gaining at the expense of BJP.
Yes.
See, independents are going up, others are going up, BJP is coming down.
What is happening in Haryana is that the BJP is actually up 5 from last time. In 2019, the BJP were at 40. They are now leading in 45. So this indicates that the BJP is doing better. Now, this will result in all sorts of question marks. Exit polls will be questioned. The mood will be questioned. All of that's going to happen.
Credibility of exit polls
Credibility of exit polls. All of that.
Voters have surprised all of us
if
again.
this continues, will end up having one huge last laugh. But again, 9:50 in the morning, we thought by 10 o'clock. Professor Shastri, how does it work? Because we never get this right. When do we start saying that, you know, this is now going to be what the result is going to be? It's 10 in the morning. Yes. We never know when to say that.
I think it depends on how many rounds of the counting have been completed. And I think Haryana still seems to be a very open race, and this would be fight to the finish. I think I'm not too sure at 10:30 also you will be able to say something
in fact, Anil
decisive on Haryana.
The former Home Minister of BJP is speaking of Haryana. Let's listen in.
हाँ ऐसे ही रहेगा, आप देखना अभी ये जो है ना, जिस वक्त ये रिजल्ट बताए जा रहे थे उस वक्त अभी पोस्टल बैलेट गिने भी नहीं गए थे। उस वक्त तो पोस्टल बैलेटों की स्कैनिंग हो रही थी। प्रोसेस है, पहले पोस्टल बैलेट खुलते हैं, फिर उनकी स्कैनिंग होती है, फिर काउंटिंग होती है। अब एक राउंड खुल चुका है, दूसरे पर गिनती हो रही है। ठीक है ना जी?
जिस तरह के ट्रेंड आप श्योर हैं बीजेपी की सरकार बन जाएगी अंत में जब नतीजे आएंगे, क्योंकि अभी आगे हो गई है बीजेपी 38 पर बीजेपी है
from Ambala cantonment.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल।
Maria, the Congress needs to put away the laddus.
I think they got the laddus out too soon.
Way too early.
Way too early. So yes, I think it's very, very surprising here because his main opponent, Anil Vid's main opponent, a word on Ambala Cant, he contested in 2019 and his main opponent is an independent candidate, in fact. He himself is trailing at the moment from there. Gurpreet is joining us from the Hooda bastion of Rohtak. Gurpreet, you know, the picture is very, very surprising. We do not know which way it will go. In fact, the BJP has now taken a lead of 6 seats against Congress. Okay, these are the visuals from Julana. That's where the daughter-in-law of Julana or Julana ki bahu, Vinesh Phogat, contested from, Olympian. She was up against Aam Aadmi Party's Kavita Dalal. And, you know, she tried to position herself as someone who was wronged by the BJP, and hence she, though, is also trailing. And she was the face of the Pahalwan, as we say, Pahalwan, Kisan and Naujawan, right? They were the big talking points of this election. Yes, go ahead, Gurpreet. Picture बदल रही है. क्या हुडा साहब फिर से वापस चले गए घर के अंदर?
Well, Hooda Sahab has just left from his residence to a nearby palace where a huge number of supporters they are gathering, because since morning we have seen a lot of supporters they have started coming here. Now we were trying to talk to some of the Congress leaders to understand what is going on, but as of now we have seen Bhupinder Singh Hooda along with his supporters. He has just left from here. So what we can understand, the BJP is also gaining. That could be possible reasons why they are not very vocally speaking at this point of time. But some of the supporters they are with us. तो क्या लग रहा है अभी कहीं ना कहीं BJP भी गेन कर रही है, तो कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है कोई इसमें कांग्रेस को खतरा है?
कोई भी खतरा कांग्रेस को नहीं है, क्योंकि बीजेपी ने टोटली जात पात की राजनीति की है और कांग्रेस 36 बिरादरी की पार्टी है और चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा 36 बिरादरी के नेता है। चौधरी भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा ने अपनी डेवलपमेंट, एम्प्लॉयमेंट, हेल्थ
पर
पॉलिसी
अब तो सारी गेम नंबर्स की आ गई है। नंबर में कहीं देख रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस के पहले बहुत ज़्यादा थे, 66 तक भी लीड हो गई थी, लेकिन अब कम हो रहे हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं लगता है कि ये चिंता का विषय है।
कोई भी चिंता का विषय नहीं है। कांग्रेस में भी 53 और 55 सीट कंफर्म है।
तो क्या लग रहा है आपको?
बिल्कुल ठीक लग रहा है जी। कांग्रेस क्या पूरी बहुमत से सरकार आ रही है।
तो क्या लग रहा है आपको? कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है कि जो नंबर नीचे जा रहे हैं वो कांग्रेस के लिए चिंता का विषय है?
नहीं, कोई चिंता का सबक नहीं है। अभी तो रुझान है, ये जो सेकंड राउंड ही हुआ है, अभी तो राउंड काफ़ी रह रहे हैं। कोई प्रॉब्लम की बात नहीं है। कांग्रेस एक तरफा जीत रही है।
क्या लग रहा है आपको कि कांग्रेस आएगी ऊपर?
100% आएगी और पूरे फुल मेजोरिटी से आएगी। अभी तो शुरुआती रुझान है, अप डाउन होंगे, लेकिन 12 बजे के बाद जो रुझान आएंगे आपको पता लग जाएगा। 60 से 70 के बीच की सीटें आ रही हैं।
Well, if we can talk about the trends, some of the supporters, they are quite confident. They are saying the clarity will be after 12 o'clock and then the picture will be clear. But as of now, we have seen Bhupinder Singh Hooda, the former Chief Minister of Haryana, he has just left his residence to a nearby place where a huge number of supporters, they have gathered. Back to studio.
All right. Thank you, Gurpreet. We'll wait and hear from Senior Hooda Saab in just a bit. Perhaps he'll have a reaction when the numbers actually consolidate. On the Election Commission of India's website, we are seeing that there is still the lead of 4% for the Congress party. Does it actually mean then, okay, now the BJP is only gaining, now it's a gap of 7 seats. So it's turning out to be a very, very fascinating
BJP is
battle.
breaking ahead, absolutely. And this has changed in the last 1 hour. If you were watching 1 hour thinking that both the elections are done, then no. Haryana certainly not done. The BJP well and truly ahead. The Congress, which was hovering around 50 at one stage, and further counting.
We will try and go to Ishika, but a word on this, Sajjan. If the BJP has a lead of 4% on the 5% now on the ECI.
No, Congress is having 3%.
3% lead.
So that
and the seats of the BJP is high, which means they consolidate. They made the gain only on those seats.
I think it indicates that they went for a very customized strategy, not to waste their energy onto the Jat dominated, which was clearly, and also in terms of the narrative, it seems that we focus too much on the Jats and the Dalit factor, and thinking that because some of the OBC leaders etc. deserted BJP before, so we took it for granted.
It could also mean that where the BJP is leading, the margins are thin, whereas where the Congress is leading, the margins are a little wider.
Exactly.
That also could be an indicator of this.
Exactly. But this may also very well be a Chhattisgarh kind of a moment. Mind it, I mean, from up to 9 or 10, it was almost certain that Congress is sweeping 60 plus. And final result was completely surprising. So this is also very kind of, if this happens, this would be a very interesting case study.
As far as Jammu and Kashmir, it's more or less settled. I mean, if these numbers actually hold, there's a huge gap of 30 seats now between the BJP and the Congress NC, the pre-poll alliance. 53, it has gone up. Even I was speaking to you, Dr. Professor Shastri. But, Mayank, a word on this Haryana. you know. It's
turning
out to be very different from what every pollster was suggesting.
All of us were. Exit polls had clearly shown that BJP's vote share base has shifted upwards, and it has stayed at that level, even in this election. Probably Congress was expecting much more, and Congress was expecting transfer of votes from others towards Congress. That has not happened fully, which means BJP at elevated base and Congress not getting enough to match that or go ahead of that. That is probably the story so far.
And also, I mean, whatever be the shift of JJP, I think INLD to some extent dented the Jat vote. That factor is also a seeming possibility that INLD perhaps, people did not give too much centrality.
Is just up 1 in 2019.
Vote percentage, the Jat votes.
So JJP going down, does it mean that it has led to, you know, who's
gained at
for the cost of JJP?
Congress.
Probably,
the consolidation of the Jats.
Congress may have,
that's an open question. If the
probably
BJP
some
is
of those
up 5 from last time, what is to suggest that some of the JJP voters haven't gone to the BJP?
They would have gone to
the
BJP also.
has not lost, they've actually gained from last time.
No, we have to see Devi Lal's kind of entire this, you know, lineage, INLD and JJP. So maybe a section, because Hooda was the giant slayer in 90s by defeating Devi Lal. Now it may be possible that a section of the JJP vote may have shifted to INLD, whether they win or lose. You know, and Congress may not have been as much a beneficiary, you know, as we were expecting.
Okay.
Well, let's go quickly across to Anusha Kapoor, the BJP spokesperson who joins us. Thanks very much for being with us. It seems the BJP is now, inching ahead in Haryana. Is it your sense that you're going to win Haryana on the basis of the trends that you see at this stage?
Jai Shri Ram and good morning, Vishnuji. What you see right now is the reality. We are not here to boost about the party, we are here to boost about the work, what we have been doing so far. That is why we have been elected and re-elected not only in the State Assembly but in the Lok Sabha. What we have done is the Pratyashi of work on the ground with Panna Pramukh, with the booth palaks. We have worked tirelessly.
Now Vinesh
we have
Phogat
seen
is leading.
the difference.
Just
a lot of
few
people
minutes
are
back she
talking
was
about
trailing. Now the details that are coming in is that she is leading. So it's not really that 2/3 or a clear trend. It's a very surprising trend which is appearing at 10 a.m. Go ahead, ma'am.
Vinesh Phogat is another reason where she's been used by Congress. She is an Olympic leader where Modi ji had done for any Olympic person what could have been done. But Congress made it her as an scapegoat. And what you see, the Dalits, how Congress reacts towards the Dalit, whether it is Mallikarjun Kharge or Haryana Shailja ji, look at it, the way they treat them. I would not be surprised when we say that the Congress is the one who just talks about themselves. We have always been speaking about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. It is okay. We have always seen and worked for the nation first and the party second. There are times when you lose, when you win. But we are very happy for the work what we have done in Haryana as well as in Jammu Kashmir. And what we are seeing right now in your area also, when we talk about BJP is leading, this is something is always a news which never dies out, because what our former CM has worked, what our present CM has worked for, we have worked for the betterment and the life, the poverty for what the people are talking about. We have worked for them. We have worked for Antyodaya person. So you have seen how Congress makes its own money. You look into the states of Congress.
Okay.
And you've seen in Karnataka, in Himachal Pradesh, you see how they are in Telangana. Can you talk about toilet seats where Modi ji has has made the toilet free? They are talking about tax concern. I have seen this. It's a very sad figure for Congress. They just talk about politics. Only for the elections
so now
they
numbers
come,
have changed
and then they are seen nowhere.
It's become very close now between BJP and Congress.
But you know, the vote
so
share
I think
of INLD is quite
all the sides
significant.
just
At 0.5%.
Wait, before you jump the gun and yes,
Sir,
and start
INLD
any
is
kind of
5%.
celebration.
INLD is 5% vote.
Margins, I think, in all these. So the changes are keeping on happening.
Yes, it's very close. Professor Shastri, a word on how it is playing out in Haryana.
No, I think very clearly in Haryana the contests are very close, and with every round there seems to be a change happening. So I think there will be a lot to talk about in Haryana in the remaining 1 or 2 hours now.
Yes, but you know, if these numbers hold, because it's 10 a.m. already, I mean, nobody got it right.
Yeah, undoubtedly,
I mean, pollsters get several elections
BJP's
wrong, but
leads are 3 more than what it won.
Even the BJP was not anticipating this.
They have got 3 leads more than what they won last time.
Last time, right?
And as was being discussed earlier, it will be interesting to see which regions are those leads in. Yes. And now the lead has come down to just 1 seat, 43 to 42. So I think we will need to go do a region-wise breakup of where these leads are coming from,
yes, so
if that's possible.
The BJP is ahead in Haryana. What we were thinking, it's a completely different picture in the matter of a few minutes, I would say. My senior managing editor, Nikunj Garg, is joining us here. And, you know, it's fascinating to see how numbers are playing out. But Haryana is where the story is. As far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, the picture is more or less clear. BJP at 22, the NC Congress alliance, which was a pre-poll alliance, having a clear lead of 30 seats. Others again become important because that is where you know, the high percentage or high number of independents play out. But Haryana is where we do not know which way it will go. 43 to the BJP, Congress at 42. That's the reason why Bhupinder Hooda, though, stepped out of his house but did not say a word, Nikunj.
Well, Maria, one thing is clear, and Nirja, bear me out on this one. One thing is clear, the way most of the pollsters, the way most of the people who had gone to Haryana were seeing Haryana elections, it is certainly not turning out to be that way.
You know, I went to the Ahirwal region. It was a takkar between Congress and BJP. It's a stronghold of BJP normally. But you know, what is very interesting is that Dalit was much more assertive. They wanted a non-Jat CM. They talked about, they feared the return of Jat Shahi. Ye sab unhone kaha. But they said they will anyway vote for the Congress, but hope that some kind of a, you know, formula could be worked out, pass sharing formula could be worked out, which would involve the Dalits, Shelja, Uday Bhan, Ashok Tanwar, who's come into the party. Now, if this is the case, the BJP has fought back hard. This is in the BJP's DNA. They don't sit back. And the Congress has celebrated.
They continue to fight even the losing battles. You see, look at their star power. You know, any other set of circumstances, the Home Minister, the Prime Minister, at least will pull back. At least will pull back and say, look, this looks like to be a lost cause. Let's not take too much of our prestige into it. But that's not the case.
How BJP fights it.
That's not the case. Congress tends to celebrate too early.
Absolutely.
Yes, they did that. Even today.
Looks like they did that. Looks like
at the moment. Yes. At the moment, lot of caveat. We are not calling elections. It's 10 a.m. You know, we do not know which way it will go. You know, it's turning out to be like Chhattisgarh, where it was going in one direction, but now that gap between the BJP and the Congress is increasing. It's 6 seats.
But as I said, that, you know, one thing is clear from this, that this was certainly not a sweep election as many people were reading it. And so, this is certainly now throws a big question mark on your ilk too, that exit pollster ilk.
Definitely, all the pollsters, not only me, all the pollsters.
I said your ilk.
Yeah. So all the pollsters, who were on ground, they were off, so they need to go back to the
they're getting it wrong election after election. I mean, I understand. I mean, I keep wondering, when you go on the ground, why can't you get the surveys right now? You know, you've got even Jammu and Kashmir wrong. There you thought that it was,
that's what my sense is, that both the elections this time again. What's the issue here?
So I cannot say much about Jammu and Kashmir, but particularly in Jammu and Kashmir, let's say the issue here is that you cannot do much of this sampling properly, because it is an issue that you cannot visit certain areas prohibited by the Indian Army. So there is a sampling issue, which I agree. But Haryana needs to be understood properly, because Haryana has been a setback for all the pollsters, including us. So all of the pollsters were predicting a clear-cut victory for the Congress party, but it isn't the case as of now, and BJP has given a tough fight. Now, what we are able to understand from the pattern that two particular caste, one is the non-Jat general and OBCs, so they must have consolidated behind the BJP party in like large numbers. So, like similar to the Jat consolidation, there was a anti-Jat consolidation.
That could have happened.
That could have happened,
yes,
and
but because,
also,
you know, this would be BJP's best ever performance, because when they won for the first time in 2014, they had got 45 seats in Haryana.
47 seats in the first election.
Yeah, 45 in fact.
Yeah, no.
Then they got 2 extra independents. But Congress, and then in 2019 they won 40 seats. Now it is far bigger than even those
and these numbers now look to be consolidating. These numbers have now been there on screens and on all the screens. It's not just one screen, any screen, but they have been on the screens now for close to 45 minutes. Close to 45 minutes.
Absolutely.
So,
Salman Soz is joining us. Salman, good morning to you. Although we would have discussed both the states, but I think you will be more interested in discussing Jammu and Kashmir here. Salman, when I met you in Srinagar, you said you had reasons to cheer, and perhaps with 30 seat gap between BJP and your pre-poll alliance, it's consolidating, as you know, you could very well be heading to form the next government there.
I think we were cautiously optimistic. I think the resentment against the BJP because of 10 years of rule, basically, last 6 years basically were, central government rule. So I think we were cautiously optimistic that the people and the people's anger would show up, and I think it has done so. I'm still looking at the 22 seats for BJP, which, to my mind is still high, as far as I'm concerned. That means that the BJP has put up a stiff fight. So we should also acknowledge that if these numbers hold. Although my hope is that they will come down from 22 to maybe in the teens, but we'll see. But the people of Jammu and Kashmir deserve a government of their own. They deserve a voice in their own lives, and they deserve their own state, and that is what we'll be fighting for.
Salman, your own strike rate in comparison to the NC is low. You were supposed to be doing the heavyweight lifting, of course, in Jammu. That is the region where BJP seemed to have not lost much ground. But the NC's strike rate is 100%. Almost that. Yes, it's very high.
The National Conference, of course, we expected the National Conference to do really well, because in the Kashmir Valley especially, but the National Conference, I'm sure, has done reasonably well in regions of Jammu as well. But in Kashmir Valley, National Conference became the default anti-BJP voice. So I think that's where you see a lot of votes for NC. So I'm not surprised at all. In fact, I've been saying to people that I was in touch with that NC would do very
So we
well
have some very interesting details which have come in now. On 39 seats in Haryana, let's put out the Haryana numbers again. 39 seats in Haryana. There is only one round of counting which is over. So several more rounds, almost 12 to 13 rounds to go.
that is as per the Election Commission of
That is as per the Election Commission. On 36 seats, 2 rounds are over. And on 10 seats, 3 rounds are over. And I'm looking at the Election Commission of India website here, Nirja, come in on this. The Congress vote share is around 41%, the BJP at 37%. In fact, Kumari Shelja is speaking. Please, let's listen in.
देखो, it is too early. राउंड्स होते हैं, हमको मालूम होता है कि कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीज़ें चलती हैं. तो इसको आप इतना ज़्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन. ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है. लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम, कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी.
10 बज रहा है, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो, अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे कम से कम. उम्मीद नहीं, विश्वास है.
मेरे साथ कुमारी शैलजा है, कांग्रेस पार्टी की सीनियर नेता. मैम,
Nirja, is her smile indicating something?
Well, she would want to be chief minister rather than have the party lose. I don't think that is something that's going to make her happy, I suspect. But the Dalit factor, this I found this time, Dalits were very assertive. And they kept talking of a non-Jat CM. And I think the fear of the return of Jat rule And Mr. Hooda's rule is associated with, you know, favoring the judge, which the Prime Minister called Kharchi Parchi. And I think that with even did it work? People who voted for the Congress in the Lok Sabha election, the Dalits and the OBCs, did they go back to the BJP this time, fearing the return of Jat
And
rule?
particularly because of the change of the chief minister also.
And did Naib Singh Saini's face work more than we all thought it would, given the short
I want to add a point as well here. So as Maria said that so Congress vote share is at 41%.
Yes.
And BJP's vote share is at 37%. So despite a 4% gap for Congress, so we also predicted a 38% vote share for BJP and 43% vote share for like Congress. Now issue here in most of the pollsters is the vote share to seat share conversion.
Yes.
So
Vote
Congress,
share to
wherever
seat
Congress is winning, it is winning very big in the Jat land, and wherever like BJP is winning, it is just able to like pass that
Okay,
gap.
so if that actually works, then it's, you know, they could have got their strategy
We
right,
have
but
our
too early.
reporters.
Yes,
Yeah.
Aishwarya is joining us from the BJP headquarters. Perhaps the scene would have changed by now. And we also have Sunil Prabhu joining us from the Congress headquarters. Sunil, celebrations too early for the Congress, or are they still optimistic? I can see a smile on your face though.
They're still quite confident. They're quite sure, but definitely I think somewhere down the line they also know that there was
Okay,
that
Sunil,
simmering
Kumari
tension of-
Shelja is speaking to us. Let's listen in.
11 सीटें हैं जहाँ पे कांग्रेस को बढ़त दिख रही है अगर पिछले चुनाव से आप कंपेयर करें क्या वजह है कि कांग्रेस का जो शेयर है वो बढ़ता दिख रहा है
ये स्वाभाविक बात है। भाजपा के 10 साल